The time now is 6 o'clock. I call this board workshop of the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Board of Trustees to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. And for the record, let it be known that trustee J.J. Swatis is absent tonight as he had a prior commitment before this meeting. Is he on Zoom?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yes, ma'am, I'm on Zoom.
Okay, so he's here.
Thank you, trustee. Thank you, President.
Agenda item 1B, if you'll please stand and bow your head for a moment of silence for 21 seconds to honor our 21 beautiful souls. Thank you. Our invocation will be led by Mr. Robert Quinones.
Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight with humble hearts, knowing that decisions we face will not always be easy, but they are certainly important. You have entrusted us with responsibility to lead, to serve, and to protect the well-being of every student, teacher, and family in our district. Lord, grant us wisdom as we consider the choices before us. Help us discern what is right, not just what is popular or convenient. Give us courage to do what is best, even when the path is uncertain or the burden feels heavy. Remind us, Lord, that we are never alone in our work. Let our words be filled with grace, our hearts be led with compassion, and our actions be grounded in truth. Bless this board with unity, clarity, and peace as we serve together. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Amen. You join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Item 2, open forum. We do not have anyone signed up today. Item 3, consider approval of a letter of support for Rich Senna's continued election as Region 20's representative on the TASB Board of Directors. Ms. Cullis.
Thank you. Rich Senna has served as a board of trustees on the board of trustees since May 2014. During that time, he has attended every TASB SLI convention and completed leadership TASB during the 2019-2020 school year. He had the opportunity to visit districts across our great state and see the many wonderful things being accomplished for Texas's 5.4 million public school students. Along with other trustees from Bernie, he has participated in numerous presentations and workshops at various SLI and TASA TASB sessions. One of his priorities as a trustee has been to be heavily engaged in legislative activities and develop strong relationships with our legislators. He has worked with the other Region 20 TASB directors to promote increased involvement of our school districts. Region 20 has had the second highest participation rate in the state during the last delegate assembly and also saw a significant increase in the response rate to the 2025 TASB member survey. Mr. Senna kindly requests that our district Board of Trustees consider approving a letter of support for his continued election as Region 20's TASB Board of Directors representative. Questions?
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'm sorry, he's at another district?
Right, he's on the Board of Trustees for Bernie ISD.
Oh,
And he'll
Madam
be
President,
Right.
I make motion for the approval of a letter of support for Rich Senna's continued election as Region 20 representative on the TASB Board of Directors.
Motion made by trustee Flores, second by trustee Rizzo. All in favor? Vote passes. So good luck to Mr. Senna. Item 4, discuss and consider approval of the 2025-2026 Student Code of Conduct. Ms. Colas?
Thank you, President. That is, the Student Code of Conduct is reviewed and updated annually. Required changes are addressed and inserted as necessary for the upcoming school year. The Student Code of Conduct serves as a guide for principals to develop their grade level campus discipline plan. The Student Code of Conduct has been reviewed to ensure that it has all required elements. And so that y'all know, we work with Walsh Gallegos, and we have their template, and we answer questions based on our district and how we do it. And it produces a student code of conduct that's both aligned to the new state legislation and aligned to our district practices.
Page 18 of the board book, which is page 13 of the document.
Mhm.
Let's see. Sorry. Page 18. When it talks about the cellular phone,
Mhm.
Is it 18? Oh, wow, that's kind of misnumbered on there.
yeah,
So when Mika does the whole board book, there's a board number, but then sometimes some of our pages like code of conduct.
right there by it's on page 18 of the board book.
Okay.
Okay.
And then that's correlates to page 13, I think, of the
Mhm.
document.
14.
Misuse of property or under?
Misuse of property. It says using display or having a operational mode, a cellular telephone. I think we're
Yeah, that we don't have a choice in that. That's a state law.
mode, a cellular.
Oh, he's saying that there's a typo.
Okay, let me try to find it here.
Is that mobile cellular telephone?
Under misuse of property?
Is it under misuse?
Yeah, it's on,
To see definitions, it's in that little paragraph where it says using, displaying, or having.
it's right
Ah.
above misuse.
Got it. Yeah, having it or having in operational mode,
Oh,
it should be mode, a cellular telephone. So it's right. It should be mode, operational mode.
Oh,
So it's like, is it saying that it's on?
Right, it's
Is
saying
it-
that it's on. It
It
can't
is.
be, right. They cannot use, display, or have a phone on operational mode, a cellular telephone or communication device,
So they,
or watches.
so you can bring it and have it in your backpack. You just can't have it out,
Correct.
right? So and you have to power it off.
As long as it's completely silent, we're
away for the day.
away for the day. It just has to be silent. We're not saying it has to be off. We recognize that many parents utilize Life 360 to know exactly where their child is, make sure their child's at school. So we're not asking kids to turn off the phones. We are at silence them and put them away for the day, ignore them.
Unless they have an IEP.
what about money?
Is that correct? Ms. Collis, unless they have an IEP for that?
So we won't, he's talking about IEPs. So we would not put it in their IEP or 504 plan to be able to use the phone or about the phone. However, there would be ways to modify not having it, like, for instance, if they need it for their to monitor their blood sugar, then there would be specific times during the day where they would go to the nurse to check it. If they needed it, if they have anxiety and they need to check in with their parent, then we would set specific times or give them like a little red card or coyote card that they show the teacher, and the teacher knows they need to go talk to a counselor and be able to call their parent. So if we were to ARD them into a student's plan, then the district would be responsible for purchasing the cell phones. Yeah, it would be considered assistive technology. So it's how we write the IEP into their plan.
Right, because I know I know that there are some IEPs that do allow for them in their core classes to utilize a music list while doing their work. That is in their actual IEP report.
Yes, that would be if it's however the school chooses to address that. If it is yes, they have a music list on their phone, then and that's in their 504 plan, however it's written, we have to follow it.
Okay, thank you.
You brought that up. I don't know if JJ said this. I can't hear JJ. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's a way to fix that, but you heard him. I have bad hearing though. But so the question I have about that is, and this is, I want, something happens here sometimes on the board when someone gets a notification about sugar's high or low, and it seems like it has to be very live to know if they're in danger. So, and I don't know anything about it, just what you said. So is that something that is factored in, like say, if a child does need to have it and it can be on? Because the reason I'm asking is because I know most children don't know how to monitor that, and they don't eat right, and all kinds of things happen. And so that I'm sure you see it all the time, but the phone would have to be able to notify them.
Yes,
And so that would be worked in.
that absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. If it is an assistive technology need, then and they need to be able to know those things, then yes, we will work it in however we need to
And-
make sure the student is safe.
But we wouldn't have to purchase that, right? Is that,
Right.
they would just use their phone or whatever. Okay, right.
Are we just gonna give them a card or something, so that way we don't have other students saying, hey, nope, 504, that's why I have my phone.
So my suggestion was like some kind of sticker that they put on the back of their case or something, or a note, some way of other teachers and students being able to identify that this child has a special need to have their phone.
And
out.
hopefully, like I know that when I worked for the district in Skyward, there's an alert box.
That's
And we
true.
try to put in like all the kids that were allergic to bees required an EpiPen, or so teachers can see that. I mean, even if it's gonna be harder if it's not your student, right? Because you're not just gonna log on and, but for the most part, it's there. And so their personal teachers will know without, making a big, walking around with a sign or something, but it would still allow the child to have privacy. But that is an alert that, and I still think they do it, is the nurses put those alerts into the system, and it flags like when they go to different classes, the teacher can see that in that alert box, right? We still have Skyward in alert box.
Yeah.
So as long as those are being put in, and when I was there, they really were, and I can't imagine they're not today. So that is real helpful also. We just need to encourage
Well,
when they get those alerts, or we have those specific things, right? Because it's gonna come up. That we have all that information and put it into the system.
President Pettis and the teachers do get their accommodations. They get the notice of accommodations. And I think some of the issues last year were when they have subs. So I don't know if whenever they are going to have subs, if the teacher can just write down on their note for the sub, like in class period 2, student A has an accommodation to utilize this during their coursework. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, just a reminder, like for the
Yes.
staff to have that information, because they don't log on to Skyward, correct?
No.
Okay.
So really, especially at the middle school and high school level, it would be helpful for the student to have their 504 paperwork with them so that they can show. I actually did that with my daughter. She had a copy of her 504 that she could show a sub if she needed to. So that's another way that we can have it.
Like a way to get a packet together whenever the sub like signs in
Right,
for
and have,
that job and know that those kids are, have those certain, needs.
When you start getting, I guess, I know we're gonna have problems in the beginning, but if one campus is having problems, and then the solutions to those problems could make sure they share it with the other campuses, that way they'll They'll know how to handle
Yeah.
those situations.
I do like your idea about the phone because it makes sense because it would be on there.
Yeah. Well, I
You
know, I think you can red alert them in Skyward. So if we just had like a dot, like a red sticker and we just need to teach the students, you know, hey, the sticker falls off, like this is important. And this is still giving them privacy, right? But just a reminder, you need to make sure that the sticker comes off, that we get one replaced as soon as possible.
Yeah, we can,
I'll make it in the.
yeah.
After nurse. Alrighty, any other questions? This time I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Board President, I make a motion to, for the approval of the 2025-2026 Student Code of Conduct as presented.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Flotis, second by trustee Quinones. All in favor?
Real quick, Madam President, further quick discussion.
Mhm.
Just real quick, Ms. Colas, now the student dress code is obviously not in the student code of conduct. That is in the student handbook. Is that correct?
I can't hear.
Ms. Graber, where is the dress code? Is it, it's gonna be an addendum? It's gonna be in the student handbook.
Okay, thank you.
Your hearing is amazing.
Well, I'm focused on it.
Right?
Yeah, I'm focused on it.
I'll speak louder.
It's like, what? Alrighty then.
What did he say?
He wanted to know if the dress code was attached to the student code of conduct. It is not.
Oh,
It's going to be in the student parent handbook. And so we will make sure that y'all get to see that as well. We'll send it to y'all.
All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 5, consider approval of low attendance waiver. Ms. Colas?
Thank you. For a day when school was held, but attendance was at least 10 percentage points below the overall average attendance rate for your district or the applicable campus for the prior year because of issues related to inclement weather, health, or safety, your district may apply for a waiver to have the day excluded from the average daily attendance and foundational school program funding calculations. On 3 occasions during the 24-25 school year, the district experienced low attendance due to bad weather. These dates were January 21st, 20th, and 22nd, 2025. The requirements for the application to waive these days from the district's overall ADA calculations are at the campus and or district's overall percentage of attendance is below the prior year's percentage of attendance for the entire year. The district's percentage of attendance for the prior year was 86.7%. On January 21st, 2025, the percent of attendance was 0%. January 20th, 2025, the percent of attendance was 57.66. And on January 22nd, the percent in attendance was 66.78. With approval of the waiver by the TEA, these 3 dates will be removed from the annual calculation of the district's attendance and will raise the overall percentage of attendance for the school year.
That 0% was that,
Bad weather day.
bad weather day.
Yeah, we did not come to school.
Is there a limit on how much you can file for this?
It has to be inclement weather or a safety or, yeah.
And then are we required to make those days up?
No,
No.
no,
just
we
get
have
wiped
enough
out.
minutes,
Oh,
right?
okay.
It goes by minutes and we had
Yeah.
enough minutes built in to not have to make it up.
Any other questions?
So that 86.7 should go up, or that's already accounted for?
I believe it should go up.
Because
It
that
should
zero
go up.
like really brings you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so it should go up.
That's comforting. That's good.
I'll entertain a motion.
Board President, I make a motion to approve the district to proceed with the application of waiver for low attendance days for January 21st, 2025, January 20th, 2025 and January 2025 as presented.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Flores, second by trustee Suarez. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 6, budget workshop.
All right, Ms. Bindley? You'll take the podium.
All right, good afternoon, Board of Trustees, Ms. Colas, and our guest. So first apologize, y'all got that late. We were still pulling stuff together. I received the projections from Moat Casey about 4:49, so we haven't had a chance to review those, but I think we're still in the ballpark. All right.
The drum.
It's a puny one. All right, so we updated this probably about 2:45 today. This is our 25-26 current enrollment as compared to our ending enrollment where we ended in May. So you can see we've got like UHS to date, as of about 2:45, they've enrolled 967 students. They ended last year with 1,104. Right now, that's a decrease of 137. And y'all can kind of see those on down. But so to date, year to date, or not year to date, but total for all campuses, we've got 3,303 versus 3,979. So right now, our enrollment is down a little bit, 676, but they're still enrolling. All campuses are enrolling, contacting parents, et cetera. And I think we'll probably still next Wednesday when school starts, there's going to be kids showing up. So yes, ma'am.
And what do you project? Because the migrants don't come back till about October, right? So do you just roughly like, is there 100 less?
I think
More?
there'll be less than.
Like 60 or something.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question. What, I don't know what that restorative center is. What is that? So is, what's, we're not, how do kids get in there? Or what's, are.
That's DAEP.
No,
Not
no,
restored,
not the restorative.
Not D. But we didn't dissolve it. Right.
Instead of going to one area.
Withdrawal, transferring them nationally, whether it's, they're withdrawal, not withdrawal, much they're just transfer.
Yeah, but I thought we were having DAP on this campus. So the restorative center is not DAP. It is DAP.
So it's how we code. She's
Okay.
talking about how we code it. So
Okay.
while yes, they have to have an alternative placement to their home campus, we're no longer, what we had done was we gave the restorative center its own code.
Okay,
And so kids had to be withdrawn from their home campus, put here and enrolled. And so starting this year, they will stay enrolled at their home campus. They will have to come to the alternative center here. Grades will go through their own campus. Teachers here will have to send grades back. And it'll work out better for us. So it still exists, but it's not its own separate code.
okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
What
I
about,
need to let food service know.
Crossroads, and that number's gone down quite a bit. I know we're running it different. Is that impacting it or?
Yeah, process. So we're going through, because most of the graduates, that's the Crossroads is to get all this, it's graduated. But when we are actively recruiting, which turns out to find, go to India, so this is very typical. The goal really is to look at our waiver codes the first couple of weeks of school who did not return and use crosswords to recover those dropouts and put them in that campus with that flexible schooling. So that's a practice environment. We don't want that out right now. We really want to have a place for those waiver codes for those future dropouts.
And where are they located, the crossroads? Are they at the high school?
900.
They had been here and we moved them back to the high school. That way the high school can share teachers and can, if a kid needs to do half day or seat time, we've got, it works out better. Mm-hmm. That is why we put that. It's a good thing.
Trustee Reese, you have a question?
Thank you for comment. What I'd like to encourage is that, am I hearing Nick or is just me?
There's a echo.
Oh. I was like, I'm almost. Anyhow, my comment is this.
The drumming today.
Like drum stuff. My comment is this, like in any environment, right? Customer service is everything. And I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, right? That these people, for whatever reason, they couldn't make it on the days of enrollment, but that we're there, that we answer the phone calls, that we're there, that we greet them. Obviously, we're all professionals. Just a reminder. And that we let people know, here's how you get here, here's in the park. The whole thing, just basically just walk them through the process, make it easy for them. You know, because the last thing you want is for them to become frustrated and turn them away. So, because they have options.
They do.
So just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. That's my comment.
What about Batesville? Do we have any feedback about Batesville? Laura, does your daughter go there? She helps out with this.
2 days out of the week.
How is she helping out with the enrollment?
And I know that Ms. Gonzalez was on the phone yesterday.
To get
Ms. Graver can give a,
We have 30 going on. Still 9 of those are new to the district.
Oh.
1 of them will be transfers.
Wow.
There's 15 of them that we are actively reaching out doing home visits to try to recover. So hopefully that number goes back up to 90. But right now that's what they're doing. So I talked to Ms. Gonzalez this afternoon. They're at 30. And so and then they have a plan to start doing home visits to get those 15 that they're trying to get registered.
So, okay, you said 30, but it says 68 here.
No, 15. Yes, out of that 68, 30 of those are new to the campus.
Oh.
9 of them are new to the district.
and then there were 30 on the hook. Where we're
But there's
actively,
15 true Batesville kids that aren't identified in that number that they're going to be doing. They just feel like they haven't registered yet, so they're doing home visits right now. So there's still 15 Batesville students that are missing from that number.
Do we, I didn't pay attention to this last year, as far as early enrollment numbers and what happens at this time. Do people tend to, in different schools, register late? Do you know that trend? Or I don't know that number, but I was wondering that.
Hard, we haven't done an early
Okay,
registration.
Right. It's been a,
Enrollment, so we don't really have a baseline to say where we're at, but typically families do come, so we're working with the principal to think what is the plan going to be. What's the plan gonna be on Monday, you're gonna meet the teacher, if they're not registered, they're gonna be in a separate room. So we're trying to help keep that through with our administrators to make sure that there's a welcoming environment, they don't wait in one line and go wait in another line, so like where's the list, who's calling, so we're trying to help that Monday or every time kind of the process. As well as that first day, what is the room the kids are gonna be, how are we gonna absorb them, and well, that's.
and working for the district, you see that the first day people decided to move back with mom or to move back with dad, or people decided to leave where they were at and come to Uvalde. So you do see a good handful of kids registering the first day. I mean, I can remember those days and it was almost overwhelming
And
sometimes.
I did get some positive feedback on the open enrollment, by the way. You know, people obviously call and, you know, it takes, it's easy to complain, but when they call and say, hey, good job on that. Those are nice things to hear, so.
Yeah, we heard,
Yeah.
I saw
Thanks for all the hard work.
really good comments. People were really happy and
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.
It was good. I think that was a good plan to try to capture them as early as possible, especially since we're changing. We're starting earlier, we're trying to get them in, and I think that might be the other thing that's going on with the numbers, because we started so early and some people think, oh, it's August 22nd. That's when we start. That's sometimes ingrained in them, but I'm sure y'all sent out, Anne Marie said last time, y'all sent out a ton of emails and everything.
Since then, I have active. Well, it's a little bit for some extra duties, and parents would have to start calling the non-registered families, just to not registered. Make an appointment, to do this, we have had a plan, they haven't actively calling the parents that are registered.
That's great.
Yeah, and if I could also add, Madam President, can y'all hear me a little better?
We
Can you, can y'all hear me a little better?
no.
No, okay. All right, never mind then. I just want to say, Ms. Colas can hear me. I just want to say that I am very grateful for everybody that worked there at the open enrollment. I mean, it got a little hectic with some of the lines, but everybody had smiles and was very helpful. All of the staff and that was there helping out, they did an amazing job. Thank y'all.
Thank you. And thank you for jumping in and helping make copies whenever the need arose.
Yes, I learned how to make copies. It was fun.
All right. All right, so this is kind of you'll find I kind of reuse slides some, but I wanted to update this slide based on House Bill 2 that was approved by the Texas legislature and signed by Governor Abbott on June 20th, 2025. So based on the board's recommendation, when I first presented this, I had just presented it on where we had ended up 24-25. So now that we've got a little bit more direction on the refined ADA to use, so you can see what we call on the basic allotment, that the legislature increased that $55 per ADA. So based on our 3,097 at the $55, we're anticipated to bring in about 170,000 more. But again, that came about from reallocating some tier 2 funding. So, and then the new allotment for basic costs, the allotment they're calling the ABC allotment, that's 106. And that one is based on an enrollment number. So based on today's enrollment number, that's about $348,846, which can be used for transportation, hiring of retired teachers, benefits, which would be health insurance and payroll taxes, utilities, and property insurance. And so again, this brings back the compensation again, as far as what the raise for the teachers would be. So teachers with 3 to 4 years of experience will receive $4,000, $8,000 for teachers with 5 or more years. And they have to be characterized as salary, and they did not fund any money for benefits. And as we had talked previously, that other than our medical insurance, which this would be on top of their base pay. So it's about 10% in fringe. So again, for every $1,000 increase in salary, the district needs to absorb about $100 in fringe benefits that was not made part of this particular compensation increase. You'll hear us talk about the SSRA. So that's the support staff retention allotment. And that is $45 per ADA. So again, using the refined number of 3,097 at $45, that's about $139,365. And this is specifically for non-teacher, non-admin, full-time and part-time positions.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you happen to know, I know this is way out there, I'm just wondering, do you know how many like brand new teachers we have, or how many go just a roundabout? It doesn't have to be, I'm just wondering like what we have as far as 3 or 4 greater.
Okay, so am I understanding you want to know how many brand new teachers we have, or do you want to know how many teachers we have in the different ranges?
I was just looking at how many brand new ones are coming in from 0 to 2. I guess it aren't gonna get the raise and then,
Well, let me get through because I do have a surprise for you a little later, but no, I don't know how many.
Did you bring snacks?
No,
chocolate.
I do not off the top of my head know how many that are new and what their years of experience are. That is something we can probably bring toward later towards next week.
I was
But
just wondering if you might know a ballpark, but it's.
No.
It's not anything that I have to know. I was just wondering.
yeah, no, I don't know that right now. Okay, so House Bill 2 provided for the 45 per ADA for the SSRA. And so based on the board, we're anticipating that to be almost 140,000. So when we were looking at how we wanted to use this, because we are required to pass it along to the staff that, on the previous slide, really everybody but teachers and admin. So I just gave an example. So how we figured what we're recommending or presenting is we always calculate off of the midpoint. That helps keep your ranges in sync, your minimum, midpoint, maximum. So I just took a screenshot of here our instructional support pay plan. And these are our instructional aides, PBS aides, and caregivers. They work 187 days. And so off of midpoint is $14 per hour. And at a 2% increase off of midpoint, this particular group would receive 28 cents per hour increase. Does it make sense how we calculated it? Yes, no, everybody's good. Okay.
Good.
All right. Okay, so the support staff retention allotment, the SSRA. So we figured a 2% off of midpoint for our auxiliary and paraprofessionals. This comes out to about $116,000 that they would get. And again, when we were looking at this, we're still embarrassed about the dollar amount that it is to offer. But again, it's where we are. It's what the legislature gave us to work with. It's still embarrassing, but it's better than what administrators are going to get. And then we looked at a 1% professionals other than teachers and administrators. So that's your counselors, I think librarians. I'm trying to think who else is in that group. Nurses, RNs, not LVNs. LVNs are paraprofessionals. So your RNs. And then our certified teachers, we want to give them a little something too. So this maybe answers your question. So any teacher that has 0 to 2 years experience, we are recommending a $300 increase for those staff.
And Pam, this number, the 22,500, that's how much it will cost us to do that?
That's our estimated. Yes.
Estimated cost.
Yeah, we could probably work backwards, divide to get the number, but again, we're still hiring. So, I mean, all these are estimates. I mean, I think they're fairly close, but again, they are estimates. All right, so continuing with the support staff retention allotment, the SSRA, bus drivers, monitors, about $23,000 increase. So we increased the rate and reduced their guaranteed hours. So the bus drivers and monitors were one that had a pretty good reduction in days due to the reduction in the number of days that the students would be on campus. I believe this past year that just ended, I think they were on campus 177 days, and our calendar this year has them coming 165. But we have some staff development days in there, training days, and that. So with that, it's about a $23,000 increase. And to help offset the reduction in days, the bus monitors, they got an increase of $3 to $14.25. Drivers, we increased their rate $4 up to $20.15. And the guaranteed hours were reduced from 6 hours to 5 hours. But again, when we are thinking about doing these increases, next year when we are evaluating our calendar, and then if we go back to 175 days, then that's going to be a pretty good impact, because once you give it, it's hard to take it away. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. Food service, they had a reduction in days of about 6, and they didn't have the impact that the bus drivers have, because they needed some additional days just to do some deep cleaning of the cafeterias. You know, they do breakfast, lunch, and then they serve supper to the ACE kids. So there's not a lot of time for them, you know, without it being on overtime, to clean the kitchens and do some really deep cleaning of the kitchens. So they had a reduction of days of 6. And so the recommendation is to maintain, I know last year during the compensation plan, we had excess fund balance in the food service account. And so we had elected, as a way to reduce our excess fund balance, was to give them a one-time $275 per hour. We didn't call it an increase because we didn't add it to the base pay, but they still got an additional $275 per hour. So we are recommending that to keep the $275 and increase them 25 cents per hour. And again, this, when you look at food service, it is a different fund than general fund. So it'll hit a different pot of money. So in a little bit later, you'll see where I have it broken out on the chart. So it's not included in that group.
So let me understand this allotment. Is this something that we're filing separate, I guess, through the state? Is that what, it's an allotment program to help us pay for these people?
No,
No.
it was part of the House Bill 2 legislature.
Oh, so like we received the money and this is what we're saying we're going to use it for?
Yes, we are required to use it on, I think, what all did it
Support
say?
Staff retention. Yeah.
Yeah, for non-teacher, non-admin, full-time and part-time positions is what we're to use that money on.
Okay.
It was intended to go to those groups.
Okay. So then we used it to help the 0 to the 2-year people that didn't receive it, the 3 to 4. And 1% was for professionals other than teachers and administrators, and 2% for auxiliary. And so let me ask this, is this already included in the compensation plan?
It is in the compensation plan. It is not in the budget, because the first time we ran the budget through, we weren't sure how we were going to do this.
Okay.
It was still evolving. I mean, legislature just approved that on June 20th.
So we didn't know how much we were getting in this allotment, and therefore we didn't know how much we were going to pay. Is that what you said?
Well, I had based, if we go back, I had based, is it on that one? I had based it that I had said it was going to be about 146,007, and that was based on where we had ended up for the 24-25 school year. Yeah, with what I knew at the time.
And we did not know that this was going to shake out until June, until the governor signed the House bill, which was June 20th.
And then we have to figure out what their intention was and how we're going to, you know, in a minute, I'll show that it looks like it's probably going to be a little bit more than what we're going to be receiving. But we also feel that I couldn't bring a 1% for that group of people for them to get a 17-cent per hour increase. We can cut somewhere else. We can, you know, I mean, we're already watching things like a hawk. We'll just watch it like 2 hawks and, you know, find it. So that group of people, of our staff, at least get, and it's still very minimal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, in most cases it's less than $400 for those groups, especially the auxiliary, with the exception of food service, because I mean, theirs is a huge increase, but it's really only 25 cents over where they were this year, where the other group while ago, it amounted to 28 cents an hour. So, I mean, we talked a long time about, you know, it's embarrassing, but again, it's what the legislature gave us. So anyway, all right. So I've summarized the previous slides on this one so you can kind of just see the overall impact. So the auxiliary paraprofessionals, that was 116,000. The certified teachers that are 0 to 2 year, 22,500. Bus drivers, monitors, 23,000. And the professionals, except for teachers and admin, that's about 8,000. So it totals what would hit most of it would hit the general fund of 169,500. And again, you add the 10% in benefits. So total with benefits, we're looking at about 186,450. And hopefully we'll get around 130 something, we hope. Or hopefully it'll be better, but it's kind of what we're looking at. So I think we can absorb that somewhere, somehow. So staff gets a little bit. And then the child nutrition, I broke it out separate because it is a different bucket of money. Any questions? Is that confusing? No?
It's Texas Public School Finance. It is confusing.
We're going to get them up earlier more often.
Yeah.
We're tired. We were playing in the band today. We're tired.
We're going to have to do that more often. All right. So the next slide here is on the stipends. So at our last board meeting, we had much discussion over stipends. So we took the board's recommendations that you wanted to look at and put them in here. So what the first column is what we had budgeted for 24-25. Doesn't mean it necessarily got paid out. If we didn't fill that position, then we didn't fill it, didn't pay it out. The second is what the administration had recommended at I believe that was our last board meeting. And then the third column is after much discussion, what the board had wanted to see, their recommendations. So you can see between the admin recommendation and the board recommendation, what is it, $12,000 increase? There's some winners and some losers in there. The athletic stipends, actually the board recommendation is less by about $3,000. Fine arts increased maybe a little less than 2,000. The academic stipends probably had the biggest in about 12,000, and UIL and other was less than 1,000. And at your places, y'all do have some spreadsheets there that has every stipend. The color in yellow is the 24-25 total. The green, it was the admin's recommendation, and the far right, I think it's kind of a turquoisey blue, that is the board's recommendation. I think JJ, he's on mute. Is he trying to say something?
Sorry, yes, I was on mute. When you're saying the board stipend recommendation, is that the 10% up, 10% down?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's 10%. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he
Yes,
said,
yes,
is that
okay.
whenever we say
I
the
didn't
board
hear.
recommendation, it was the 10% up or down.
Can we dive into this a little bit?
Absolutely. I'll try to, Dr. G put it together. Well, I added from her recommendations, I added some totals and stuff over here, but I'll be more than happy to try to answer.
Thank you. First of all, I commend you for an easy read on this. I appreciate that. It's a lot.
Well, that was
clearer to me.
Dr. G. I picked up where she left off, so I'll pass that along to her, but
Yeah, thank you. I talked to Ms. Colas, several times about the Batesville travel stipend. And see the big picture, and it's hard for me to to swallow that, because obviously, you know, some good quality teachers that have to drive out there and all that. You know, what I do ask, Ms. Colas, is that, you know, provide them with some kind of vehicle or some kind of means of transportation and work around their schedule. There may be times, you know, that case by case basis that you got to work with them a little bit, you know, because it is a lot of money to, you know, to imagine the cost involved in fuel and.
Not we already did that. Given, the
We are working, yes, we are going to have a vehicle, like a fleet vehicle that they can carpool in.
Right.
We're gonna have
I
that.
think when
Those are comments.
when the board approved the stipend a long time ago, I think the problem that we had is that Batesville will get, you know, would get kind of like the last teachers that nobody wanted, you know, or that they couldn't find a spot here in Uvalde, so I said, well, I'll go to Batesville. So we were getting kind of like the inexperience, the bottom of the barrel, and that's how we finally got them to go over there. Yeah, with the stipend,
Yeah.
you know, that was the main reason with that we did it, and because I mean you know, we would get get them over there for 1 year, and then the following year there was an opening here, and then it would come over here. So it was kind of like we would always get the new one, the inexperienced ones.
It was a good incentive.
Yeah, so better.
Absolutely.
It's something we can, you know, hopefully we bounce back a little bit, revisit next year or 2 years.
When our fund balance, I would say when our fund balance is where it's supposed to be, would be a good time to talk about it again.
There's only one that I wanted to bring up. I mean, I have questions about other ones. I don't know if we're supposed to bring it up right now, but it's the ag science. And we have them classified as a teacher, but I really would say that the ag science is a coach. And I mean, they do competitions and they go out with the kids to show, and they do all kinds of things. I know it's classified here, but under
Okay, let me explain that one.
something else. I don't, is
So-
it under academics or where's?
So we provided a stipend to them because their days were shortened.
Right.
And so are you looking at the $5,000 one?
Yes.
That was to help with their days shortened. And
Right.
I think if you look back on the UIL one, there should be one that is CTSO event coach. If you look on the very last page, that's for when they take the kids to competition.
But there's 8 of them.
Well, I
8
mean,
Positions.
There's
No, but these are
8
the,
stipends.
8 stipends?
yes.
Because of the different competitions that they go to.
Oh, okay. So they would go, how do they would,
So if 2 people are taking kids to 4 competitions, they each get 2 of those stipends.
and they go, is this where they show, is that for showing the animals and doing all that? Is that what that is classified under?
Not the CTSO.
No. Okay.
CTSO is the young lady that was in the instructional aid program that went to nationals. So her sponsor would get a CTSO. The building trades, when they take kids to competition.
Okay.
I think the ag, they probably get it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if they're taking them like to animal judging and that. Going to stock shows, that's part of the teacher's regular,
Co-curricular.
yeah.
So, but that's, I think, beyond the 202 days or something like that, or some, that you'll have allotted. They got cut a lot is what I'm saying. And I think they should be considered almost like coaches. I mean, I didn't do this. My husband did it. It's a big program though. And they just are involved with the kids a lot. It seems like they take the kids to competitions like a coach. And
So-
I mean,
And that's what the
Coaches, right, that's why they have a $5,000 stipend, but like coaches like don't get extra days either, like, so
Right.
the ag people did get how many extra days if there are 202? So, and we have kids 165, all teachers are 187, 97. So they get 15 extra days. They get 15 extra days and a $5,000 stipend, which is pretty regular for an ag teacher.
what the research said was ag teachers usually are about 217 days. 80% get 226 days and 10% is 217. And 10% is 187. And so where are we here? We have them at we cut them by 24 days. And from what I understand, we only have 2. I'm just wondering if there's any way that we can try to keep them 2. There's only 2 now. One of them is left. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get them at that pay, because they're paying, most programs pay 226 days. And I did some research on it because what it said, what's the benefits of becoming an ag instructor or ag teacher? And it talked about getting more pay because they consider it a year-round event. And because they have to be working with the kids year-round and working with the animals, they take them to state competitions. And I mean, it's also classified CTE. So I think we get funding for that too, don't we? For those individuals?
We got $5,000 last year.
Correct.
So it's 2 years behind. It's going to take us time to build up.
Well, I'm just trying to keep the 2 that we have. I don't know if there's a way that we can bump up the I was thinking they could be head coach 6750 and get somewhat compensated, because it's still not even how much they were getting paid at 226 days. They're down to 202.
So you're saying the ag science teachers have a stipend of how much? 67,
50, like a head coach.
50, like the head coaches?
Like a head coach, just, I mean, they do a bunch of competitions, and it's such a big thing here. And the one we lost went to Canepa. That's why I know about it. And they paid them a lot of money to start up that program. So anyways, it's a big thing in Uvalde. I know that, I don't know if anybody else here competed in it, but
Yeah.
but my husband did, and it's a big thing. They do scholarships, and I think it's up there with all of our sports. As far as what we talk about is their responsibility with the kids and them having to take them out to competitions. And so I'd like to see them at the head coach level at least. Because I know that even we have them coded as a teacher, but I think it's even coach. I don't know if that's something we discuss now or.
No, I mean, in a minute, we're going to
Do the
y'all, we're
compens-
gonna ask y'all to vote on the compensation plan. I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew right where we at, what we knew with enrollment, what we knew from Casey, what we, like everything that we knew with the new numbers. So y'all can certainly during the compensation plan say that that's what
The
you want.
other thing for the coaches, I know that there is some positions cut that are eliminated, should I say, because that's what I just saw here. So, and I know they happen for reasons. Some of them moved from Batesville over here, and I know we're not having it over there, so that makes sense. But if there's anything else that in our decision to do that, that would be something that would benefit our school that was eliminated, if that can be brought back. It ultimately, y'all know these numbers more than we do. When we made those recommendations, it was to soften the blow on the individuals so they didn't lose so much and or offset it, so that we take into consideration the district and our responsibility in spending money, and also try to help them as well so that they don't feel that big of a hit.
I was wondering about the band for junior high. So it looks like, I don't think there's any stipend at all, right, for junior high band.
Which one?
I didn't see that, junior high band.
It was cut.
I think, is it there? I couldn't find it. Or maybe it says MJH UHS band, and then it has 3, but then it has
Oh, yeah.
1,500 and then 4,500, and then I think it says eliminate 4,500. Is that
That's kind of
It's the stage.
for what?
High school and junior
For the
high.
high school engineer.
Right.
This will look three band records, and then one of them is assigned to the junior high, while the others are assigned to high school. However, the junior high, record does also help with after school duties, marching band, any kind of.
So did-
So
Does
there,
that individual get both stipends for taking care of the junior high as well as?
so our junior high band more or less plays with the high school band. So we were paying a double stipend for the same work. And so I believe that's why we took that stipend out, because it's
but
the
they're
same
not-
work.
Doing a different time with those kids, or they're all going to the same time?
Real quick, can you elaborate on that, Ms. Colas? Because I don't, being a band parent, for several years, I don't, they don't play together. The band instructors have to go to the junior high to teach those classes and work with the students. But I
So
may
the
be wrong.
Who's gonna be doing that, the events after school for the junior high? Nobody.
There aren't really any.
Like, they will do practice. It's really just sponsors that they have, it's usually 2 a year, and they actually just practice during school hours.
So what is that?
You have a, oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, But that individual that's taking care of those, what does he do other besides the junior high? You said he did something
High
else.
school band.
Oh, marching band.
Yeah, high school marching band. So he comes up and helps with the high school.
Okay.
So he gets the high school stipend.
Okay, okay.
But how does he take care of the kids at the junior high?
They don't have after school events. They don't have after school. So he works at the junior high during the day and does band with them. Then he goes over to the high school and does maybe a couple band classes there. And then he does the majority of the after school stuff with the high school.
Oh, okay, so he's like split between campuses.
He is split between campuses.
And then he still does or he or she, I don't know who, does the after school, those competitions that you talked about.
The 2 concerts.
So he's taking care of 2 jobs, basically. Like getting-
No, I
No.
wouldn't say that. He has one job and that's, so we don't have enough kids in band to have someone solely assigned to the junior high. So he has some classes at the junior, this third band director has some classes at the junior high and then goes over to the high school and has marching band at the high school and does after school with the high school.
So this person right here, this thing that says marching to stipend amount is, I guess, 10,000 or 5,400. Is that right?
The
5,400?
assistant band directors, I believe, are at that amount. Let me see.
And we have 2 of them.
Yeah, is it the
There.
marching? That-
Yes.
That one that y'all are, okay, so then they get 5,400.
Right.
You have 2, and then you have one that's marching band, so there's 3 positions.
The head, right, the head band director gets the big stipend, the
The
2
10,000.
assistants get the 2 smaller stipends.
And sorry, I don't know how this works. Is it just like that's their job or do they teach something else?
No, they are only band, and they teach band during the day. And then they do band at the high school in the evenings. They do, yeah.
Percussion. Morning, they do high school, afternoon school. They live like that.
So, but they're being paid in addition to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they get their
They're
teacher
teachers.
pay.
They're
Okay, yes,
getting
that's what I
teacher
was
pay.
asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're
Get the
getting
teacher salary.
I believe all of them have been teachers more than 5 years. So they're getting-
And then they
Like,
like,
what?
Yeah,
it's a little.
Yeah, they teach band all
Okay,
day long.
that's what I meant.
And then
Okay.
after school,
But they're being, so there's 3 total people.
yes.
But some of them are at junior high and some of them over here. And so then.
One is at junior high during the day and then goes to the high school after.
So this one was just something, well, I guess it did say MJH and UHS. Were they just getting extra pay? Is that what those 3 people were getting?
Right.
And so actually just like reading, but there was actually a site that was sitting there that was never given out. And it's been on that plan over and over again. So the banners, they've taken no reduction in their stipends for the marching band. Their stipend has just kind of rolled over, it's just was modified.
So what about mariachi?
Mariachi that was separate, so there's been no.
There was, but I wondered why we had reduced him. It seems like it would be the same at 10,000.
I'm sorry, who's that talking in the back? Is that Yoli? If she can come up to the mic, please. Yoli, I can barely hear you.
No,
So here's what happened with that with Mariachi. He's also our fine arts director. And whenever we looked at the market median, there was no, we have been giving him a fine arts director stipend in addition to the mariachi band stipend, and they were flipped. So, and really that's the fine arts director, generally that's not even a stipend anywhere else. But since he teaches mariachi and has taken on directing fine arts, he gets a stipend. And what we had done was because it made more sense was we flipped them over. So let me see.
I think it was 10,000, right?
Yeah, it was,
Originally.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but the market median for mariachi is 4,500 and we're paying him 10. Which is what,
Works
Or 9, right?
200 and something days.
and he gets additional days.
Right,
So
he's a 212 day.
he's on 212 days. He really should not be getting a fine arts director stipend because he's on 212. He gets the extra days to do the work. But because that's how it had been done, I mean, my honest recommendation would not be to do that since he gets the extra days, but
The other question I had. Sorry, are you?
No, go ahead, no.
The other question I had was about, I think they're in here somewhere. I might be wrong. Keens people, where are they? Are they in here? somewhere?
They don't get.
They don't get a stipend.
no, they're
No.
hourly.
They got cut though.
So there was a small reduction in days. However, we did do a equity audit. We did just to review their salary. So most of them did receive some increases on their daily rate. There was maybe like a $300, $400 reduction on one of them. But it was due to the amount of days that they were working. Just I guess like their annual salary is what we're looking at. And so it was a very small impact. We had those conversations with them, but we did make sure to do a salary review on all of them to make sure that they were paid on target for their years.
And my only concern with that information is that, and we've talked about it a couple times in the board meetings, is about making sure that these Peens people, first of all, we have them, and I know we have a coordinator that's in charge of that now, but I feel like this attendance, registration was great, but I almost feel like we need these Peens people here earlier. And I know someone mentioned that they were making call outs. It would almost seem the biggest issue that we've had with Peens is collecting the right data. And if we had the right people coming in at the right time to collect the data, maybe we could circumvent some of those errors by bringing them in earlier. So I had seen on here, our Peens clerk for say special education was, I guess maybe it was done because they might need more information to collect for special education, but UDLA and Legacy, theirs come in at 194 days. And then for junior high, high school, Dalton, all of those are 202 days. It would just make sense that they would all be 217 days because we need them. They need to be here, and y'all might already be paying people, but maybe we have the people that that are trained in collection of the data, and we have them in early and making sure that they're the ones making the calls, they're the ones collecting the data. And now I don't know their job duties in any way. It's an
I think it-
observation.
So
because
the
It was based on
workload for each-
enrollment.
Right, the
Right,
workload
it's
for
based on
each
enrollment.
campus
If
is
you were
different.
kids.
So like Dalton, for instance, they may have additional days because that's where a lot of the records begin. They start
There's
everything from
800 and
fresh.
some odd kids there.
Right.
They have
And-
less, they have 202. And that's why special education is 217 and UDLA and
No, no, no.
Legacy have 194.
Right, so UDLA and Legacy have smaller enrollments of kids, is what I'm saying. They have fewer kids to to collect and enter the data for, because, so was that why we shortened their days as opposed to?
So actually, the elementary clerks have always been 194 days. There was a particular individual who was reassigned to that campus, and so we went ahead and there was a reduction in days for that individual just to get her on market for what the position was that she was serving. There's now some changes in staffing there, and so that individual she just doesn't have the impact of 17 less days, or I don't remember the amount of days, but they were 217, they moved to 194, but now they're serving a position that's 217 days again. And so there was no impact to that individual.
So, but I'm talking about the PEMS individual that's collecting the data.
Right.
And so the Legacy and UDLA have very big numbers. That's what we just got earlier, 300 or 400 kids. And Dalton has a large amount, but it would seem that we need them there. I just don't understand why we have variances in these days. And
I'm not sure why we would have variances in the days either. It seems like the PEMS clerk,
Right.
if you're a
So-
PEMS clerk, you would have the same amount of days.
Typically at the high school and junior high, secondary level, because they have so many classes, there's a little bit more that goes into building the schedule. Whereas elementary,
Build the
a
schedule.
lot of it,
but it's
inputting into Skyward.
Okay,
is what I
inputting
meant.
in, okay.
Inputting into
Inputting
Skyward.
student-
Uh-huh.
it's lower at the high school. It's 202 days.
So at the high school, there's actually two positions. PEMS registrar is actually 226 days. It has always been 226 days. There's been no reduction or addition. And then we do have an attendance clerk there. So the attendance clerk,
Because this says 202 here.
okay, which one are you looking at?
I think it's summer. High school, okay, but this one says right there, attendance clerk, you see it right there.
Oh, yeah.
High
It's
school
the,
202.
it's supposed to be.
This one right, this one up here, look.
No, they're looking for it. Oh, I might have it here.
This one.
Yes, I have it here.
It's
Sorry.
on this thing,
Okay,
proposed compensation plan.
okay.
Okay.
It's on paraprofessional pay plan. I mean, I think it's an awesome idea, the
That might be
registration,
the wrong
but
one,
I
too.
think we've put a lot on collecting that information, and it's important in collecting it, and you're training them, but we should just get them in and do 217 days across for them if they're okay to
I don't
work.
know that there's 217 days worth of work, especially with the processes that Ms. Graber's team is putting in. I mean, they're gonna be doing it daily. They're gonna be doing audits. So I mean, in June, there's not a lot for them to do. Now, July, and I think we have them coming back a little bit earlier. But in June, if there's no kids there, there's not a lot for them to do because they're already gonna be staying on top of it throughout the school year, because they're gonna be having audits. She's gonna send her group to go do audits.
I don't know, I think, we know how complicated everything is. And it's so that even that report for PEMS is complicated. I think if we have more hands, because I know we have our coordinator, I don't know what her name is. Lorena, and it's awesome. She can do that, be the top person, but she needs people underneath her to help her. And training these individuals, I mean, you just need people that know exactly what they're doing all day long, and they come in. And so what I'm hearing that's happening right now, and this is where the mix-up can happen, is you're having people just, I don't know who, call up people that they really don't know what they're collecting. And then that will definitely get into the error of the data collection. And if you have somebody already trained, their PEMS trained, they know exactly what they're looking for. Even if the kids aren't here, we're having to call them and collect and correct the information. I mean, it would seem, it's
Can
not
you
a
give me an example of what they would collect on June 15th if they were working? What's an example of something the Peace Clerk would collect on June 15th after the school year's over?
Well, I think isn't reporting still happening? And so we would still be refining data
At the.
for the end of the year. We're
Not-
reporting to
But
this.
Not,
I mean, we're compiling it from there and reviewing it, but, you know, we don't
You don't
need
need
the
them.
form June 15th. That's one reason we had the on-site registration was to get all the necessary forms before the student ever started. So their job will be, as new students come, they're gonna collect all those same forms. So June 15th, there's not gonna be anything for them to
But
collect.
Based on this, our PEMS people are not here at the registration.
No,
They were there and they.
They're-
and
they were
yes,
on
they able
contract
to
already.
collect.
They were
All
there.
of them were there.
oh no,
They were all
they
there.
were not.
And if they
They
weren't on
were saying they-
contract, then
they
they
were
would
not-
do extra duty.
That's what I'm talking about. We're paying extra and we're paying people that are not trained in this. And I'm just saying, let the people that are trained collect the data and let them do the extra hours there. It would just make sense because I'm betting we're gonna do double duty on collecting information.
So we're talking about UDLA, we're literally talking about two people, UDLA and
It's
Legacy.
money. It's not a lot of money. It's just
To-
extra hands to do what needs to be done right, is what
And
it's saying.
and we had to pay them either comp time or extra duty pay.
Yes, we're paying people right
So-
now to call people that aren't even PEMS people, that don't know what they're doing. So it would make sense.
We
that
do
you-
give them a script. We do give them a script.
Well, I know, but
to-
it helps. I mean, we've heard Amy talk about this stuff. It's like you have to know it in the back of your mind what you're collecting.
But the
And-
PEMS people are, while people are coming in and come to the on-site enrollment, as they're coming in now, the PEMS people are dealing with the person there. So we have somebody else coming in calling, asking them to bring their kids in to come register. So the PEMS person wouldn't be calling anyway, because they're busy entering all the forms that were collected during the on-site registration and for the students that are showing up every day to register.
I mean, it would break it up. They wouldn't be doing that the whole time. And it's getting them extra days here and it's giving them an assigned role versus just trying to find people to do the job that we're gonna end up paying comp time for.
What did Loretta would be the head, right? So what did Loretta recommend? Did she say, I'm okay with this, or is she asking for help or?
Well, we had to pull people in to do registration. What I want to know is what on the days whenever people have to show up and literally we're talking about two clerks. I don't see the problem. And honestly, it's 8 days.
It's not a lot.
It's
just-
8
they're
days
just
and it's
getting
two
the people
clerks.
Trained to do it, to come in early.
I'm trying to figure out 197 or to the 202.
I think you should you have 217 there for your special education people.
But that's a whole different
Different.
ball of wax. That's
Okay,
very
so
much
maybe
more.
the 202 then, but to me, it just, I'm just thinking, I was just thinking about what our focus is in its attendance. It's collecting data and it's so important to get the right data. And we have Lorena leading it, but she can't be there. She can't do 5 jobs.
No,
She
she
needs
cannot.
these people underneath her collecting it.
But I
Right.
think when they make the
And-
phone call, they're just basically asking them,
We
by the
need
way,
you-
please
please
come in.
bring
and
your
this
birth
is the list
certificate."
Of everything that you need to bring.
Yeah, or we're
So it's
missing
not-
your birth certificate, or we're missing a proof of residency, or we're like, this is what we're missing, and we can schedule a date for you to come.
At 202, would they be at this year's registration?
So yeah, it's already over, but they're anticipated around July 20th would be their return date.
At 202?
At 202, yeah.
Yeah.
July 20th?
July
For next
21st
year,
or
they'll
June
be something
5th. And so I'm just thinking about next year, it will be around the 20th of
That's
July.
all I'm doing is thinking for next year. It's not right now, but
So Yoli, let me just ask this, those two people that we're talking about, have they been with the district for a while? Or they're fairly
One,
new?
one is brand new, and then the other has been with us for just maybe about 2 years, 3 years. But there was actually no reduction in that individual's
No,
days.
how they would feel about the increase in days.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm just
Mhm.
curious because then we'll lose two brand new people if they decide they can't work those extra days.
yeah, I wouldn't be able to speak for them. I don't know. It would have to be a conversation we'd have, yeah.
So I think we can move forward, Ms. Bendeley. Let's just keep going and just revisit this and talk about it.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because I went to the registration and it was good. It's a good thing, but I know that we're working hard on collecting claims data. And anyways, I was just wondering about the breakup of the different days and why some were more, and I understand special education. But then I was thinking, why not across 202?
All right. So preliminary budget, again, and this is based on the refined ADA of 3,097. It's the numbers that I presented last time based on the board's recommendation, but it does not have the numbers that I got in today at 4:49 or whatever time it was. So didn't look like there was a large difference, but I also need to review everything that was put in there. So prior to the SSRA and the stipend increase, the surplus was about 764,000. So just down at the bottom, I added what we are anticipating or what we're recommending for the SSRA at the 186,450, and then the stipend increase based on the board's recommendations on the stipend. So we would still have a surplus of somewhere around about $500,000. All right, so budget next steps. So, but,
Sorry.
sorry?
What ADA is that based off of, or attendance?
3,097 that the board had told me to use.
Yeah, I mean, does that consider the rate of attendance at what, it doesn't have anything to do with?
No, I mean, that's the refined ADA number that I was told to use, so that's what I've used.
It's the ADA, it's refined ADA.
It is, but I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many enrollment at what percent ADA. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that right now.
You just have to shoot for the 86 or 87 or 80.
Oh, I would like to shoot for 96, but anyway,
Well, what we were, but what was it? What did we end up with this year?
about 86.9, I think. All right,
I
so
agree, we should shoot.
budget next steps. So again, the board is wanting a balanced budget. Again, we have to have the notice to the newspaper by August 6th. Received our last certified value on the morning of 7:30, but I had to ask for more information from that appraisal district, and I had to ask for more today from a different one. So still need to review that. The calculated estimated revenue right now is still based on the 3097, which as the latest PEMS reports, when we did submission to, it ended up being about 95.15% of where we ended 24-25 after the resubmission of summer PEMS. Again, TEA recommended a pupil ADA, refined ADA of about 2654. Admin recommended 2933. We're working on salary negotiations. Once we have a direction with a compensation plan, we will have to go in and enter all those changes into salary negotiations. Still waiting on a couple of larger items on the insurance. And again, we need to build in the compensation plan changes after tonight's, whatever's decided with the compensation plan tonight. Then also part before we can come up with a tax rate and adopt a budget is we have to have the maximum compressed rate. This, we have to submit our values tomorrow. I have to have them submitted tomorrow by end of day. And then TEA takes every district in the state of Texas takes their information that we enter in by tomorrow. And you have to be within, I believe it's 90% of all the districts. One can't have 90% more than the next one. So we still have work to do. It's not over yet. So we're still have work to do. Yeah, until I have a MCR, I cannot adopt a tax rate. And if I don't have a tax rate, I can't adopt a budget. So, all right. So
We're working on it.
I'm sorry.
I said, we're working on it.
Yeah, we are. All right. So pre-K, we're working to have a partnership with Texas Workforce Commission and Middle Rio Grande Development to have pre-K 3. And we will get 3 hours of ADA on the pre-K 3, and then they will be 6 hours in daycare receiving wraparound services. So right now we have 68 students. I think we actually probably have 70, but wait list. So we can take 68, which is 2 rooms. And if they attend 90% of the time, which this year they had an attendance rate of 82%, that we would generate an estimated 213,000 in half-day funding from TEA. The same 68 students can be qualified for CCS, which is through Middle Rio Grande and the Texas Workforce Commission. And by that, we could generate another almost 184,000 by having the partnerships. Now, the partnership would not start in September. So the days that the students or the little pre-K 3-ers are there in August, we would get the ADA funding on them, but we would not get the partnership funding. So I reduced that a little bit. CCS does have an attendance requirement, and they are not shy about withdrawing the student if they don't meet the attendance requirements and continue with the eligibility, which is nice. So that should help with the attendance. Now parents do have a monetary component, which the average is about 33.45 cents per day, which the Texas Workforce Commission will pay for those that are accepted into the program and who maintain eligibility. And they currently have a wait list of about 600. But since we are in a partnership with them, they will look at ours first. And since we are a 4-star daycare, we can partner with them. But also up there, JJ's kind of blocking my little bullet up there. But thank you. This year, 24-25, we received a net amount of 29,463 for the daycare kiddos. Because we learned that the district, they were withholding the district's portion instead of the parents paying, they were just withholding it from the district portion. So we only received $29,000 net. So, and did not receive ADA on those kids. So
But we will be getting that now, right? So.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we have roughly figured the cost to operate the pre-K 3 at about $385,000. That's a director, 2 teachers, and 6 child caregivers. There will be a little bit of overtime because we have to maintain the 9 hours a day. So the kids have to be in daycare, or we have to offer daycare for 6 hours a day to get their funding. But also depending on the number of students or kids that are there, we can also have people come in late, leave early to help manage the overtime. And then curriculum screeners, snacks and supplies were estimated at about $35,000. I did not include paper goods, custodian, utilities, or upkeep. And also Texas Workforce Commission has a grant that they will assist us in applying for, that should we get it, we would receive $50,000 that we could use for furniture, supplies for the new classrooms. All right, any questions?
And that would bridge those 3-year-olds right into our pre-K program, right?
Yes,
I have
we
a
would
question.
go ahead and get them in the system. And Texas Workforce Commission and Middle Rio Grande will also help us work with the parents to ensure that the parents that aren't bringing their children, they meet with them. So Lima will be meeting with them. They're going to have a lot of support to get to, and for them to understand the importance of
The
The-
attendance too,
yes.
Coming
like
to
you're,
school.
this is
Yep.
a waiting list and
Yep,
you're
and
gonna
if-
be off and the next
Yep.
person comes right
If,
in.
if you don't bring them, then, that we will find somebody that wants to participate. So,
Thank you.
yes.
In a minute, I just want to call to y'all's attention because in a minute, we're going to talk about parental responsibility for this 33.45 per day. And I want you to remember that it costs us $385,000 a year to run this program. And our attendance last year was 82%, not the 90% required to get the funding. So that's why it's been costing us so much is we received $29,000 and it,
Because they kept the
costs-
parent portion from us.
We paid
They were-
380,000.
because we were, yes, because we've been paying the parent portion and not
And not
collecting
collecting ADA.
ADA.
So how much would we get for ADA? If that's a,
Let's see, 213, 734.
okay,
It's half-day funding. We only get half-day funding.
but that's, okay.
At 90% attendance, which we had 82%.
You look like you have a question.
But then we get funding for the 3 hours, right?
That's the funding.
That's
3
the-
hours.
Yes. And then we'll get the other funding through our partnerships with
Yeah,
Texas
yeah.
Workforce Commission and Middle Rio Grande. In addition to the support and helping keep the parents understanding the importance of coming. And if you don't, you're exited out of the program and we have a waiting list for somebody to come in.
Okay.
So, but that TWC pays for the child if they are accepted into the program and
Yes.
maintain eligibility. So,
Correct.
but does that mean that we just, sorry, I can't read that good, but it's, but does that mean that we just haven't been receiving it and we will be receiving it? Is that, I don't know who to ask the question to.
Why don't we go
Does it
to
have
the
to be
next
something-
item, which
So
is
you go
the,
into
yeah.
where
We'll
they'll
go,
go
yeah.
into. Okay,
We'll go.
thank you.
No, I did have a question on that. It's been on my concern because I, read through it, right? It sounds good. But here's my concern though, that these individuals, right, they went through the process. They're thinking they're just gonna come to school. And now how do you explain that to them? Hey, we may be changing the enrollment, guidelines, and we may be charging you, you have to, and so all these different variables. That's my concern on that. Like, they're under the impression they're just gonna come to school and send their kids all 9 hours per day. Is that?
Do they have to, whenever we were enrolling them, did we give them the paperwork to go through Middle Rio Grande? So they know that, what did we say to them?
The childcare, this is the reason why we're not collecting the ADA. And so Solema, a part of the registration is for them to actually enroll in the Texas Workforce Commission and show her that they're on the waiting list. So that's part of the enrollment because right now it is just childcare. So what we're doing is we're separating the two so that we are receiving ADA because we're the school. We want to bridge it as a pre-K program, use the same curriculum that UDLA and Dalton are using. And so in doing that, we are adding the 3 hours to the program. So we're collecting both the ADA and still maintaining that wraparound childcare. So that $33 a day is childcare services. And so right now the TWC will pay for it, but right now the district has been paying for all the childcare.
Did we have wraparound care last year?
We did, and we paid for all of it.
But
Yes, but we did not offer the ADA, so we did not offer the pre-K side of it, the pre-K guidelines, the pre-K programs, the screeners, the Circle PM, all the things. We did not run it as a school district, we ran it as a daycare in which we paid for everything. That's PEMS, right? That's PEMS data.
no,
we
this
would-
was, I think Dr. Lopez set it up as the daycare.
Right.
It was prior to me, so I'm just trying to manage all of it and just go through all of it. So it's really, so working with Region 20 and working with TWC, it was our childcare. So we are trying to get ADA off of it, knowing that it cost us about $300,000 and we only got 29,000 for the entire year. So it's, we're just trying and then expand it because we want not only 2 classes, we want 4 classes. We don't just want 34 kids. We want 68 kids with a waiting list. So if we have low attendance, we can bring our next babies in to get them prepared for UDLA in Dalton.
So
Yeah, that was.
were parents made aware that there was a possibility that they would have to pay for the childcare for pre-K or for daycare?
I have to look with Solima's paperwork because on that enrollment, it's just enrolling. Like, we're just telling them if they're accepted and what that does not look like yet because we haven't had the opportunity to bring it to see what we're going to pay and what we're not going to pay. So that information they were waiting on to see if they can. So we have not told them yes, no, maybe so. We have not said anything at this time.
But wouldn't TWC absorb that cost?
If
they
they're
qualify.
accepted.
If they're accepted,
Yeah.
and if they qualify and they're accepted, and if they keep attendance at 90%.
That's the key
So
right
then
there.
But they probably will qualify because it has to do with socioeconomic
They
status,
will
right?
probably.
And there's a
qualify.
waiting, right now, there's
Yeah.
600 kids on that waiting.
600 kids on the waiting list.
I think they'll qualify. I mean,
Well,
I think it just is, we
It's
have
also the
to
funding,
reporting it,
right?
right?
It's
So
also the funding.
It's still cheaper than daycare.
Absolutely.
It's very
100, it's $650 a month at the max. So, and then if they have to pay out of pocket and if they don't, and TWC picks it up, they have no payment whatsoever.
Thank you.
okay. So you should probably stay there.
Okay. Item 7, consider approval of pre-K 3 parent notification letter for ADA funded instruction and wraparound care.
Thank you. In preparation for the 25-26 school year, UCISD is implementing a structured protocol for pre-kinder 3-year-old pre-K 3 program. In accordance with TEA ADA funding guidelines, eligible pre-K 3 students will be served during a 3-hour instructional day, and families will be offered an additional tuition-based 6-hour wraparound care service to extend the day and meet families' needs. Clear communication is required to delineate the distinction between the ADA funded and instructional time, and the fee-based extended care. District leaders collaborated with Middle Rio Texas Workforce Commission, Region 20, and Texas A&M to develop a standardized parent communication letter for pre-K 3 families. The protocol was, we clearly communicated the ADA-funded 3-hour instructional day, introduced the optional 6-hour wraparound care, established the per-day cost of extended care is $33.45, established the enrollment and payment processes for wraparound services, and meets TEA documentation expectations for differentiated funding and non-funded portions of early childhood programs. The fiscal impact, the district receives ADA funding for only the 3-hour instructional day. The extended wraparound care is tuition-based and will be managed locally for cost recovery for personnel, materials, and operational overload. Communication of this structure is essential for accurate reporting and funding compliance and family understanding. At this time, we are recommending that the board allow us to charge for the 6-hour wraparound service. There is no charge for the 3-hour instructional day. Parents can opt in for the additional 6 hours or they can opt out. But daycare for 3-year-olds is definitely not in our realm of responsibility. And parents who want to do that and want to go through us to do that do have the option to apply through the Texas Workforce Commission and have the $33.45 covered if they meet the requirements, are accepted, and keep 90% attendance. It's also an attendance incentive because if you are accepted, which most of them should be, if they drop below 90% attendance, they lose their funding. And what we've been just doing is doing it for free with no consequence at 82% attendance. And remember, all the state gives us funding for is the 3-hour instructional day. So that's what we are obligated to provide.
So when they come to register, they get that packet and they get the packet for, to fill out for funding, right?
For Middle Rio,
For
they get
Middle
2
Rio
packets.
grants.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you know, is that pretty quick? Like, do they know pretty quick? They'll know, I mean, I don't know what the time frame is, a week, 2 weeks?
So we were in a meeting with Middle Rio and Texas Workforce Commission and A&M, and they did say that once we're in the partnerships together and we confirm everything, they will push our kiddos to the top of the waiting list as long as that partnership is there. But again, it's waiting on federal funding, and they just now really start some of our title funding, so it's always up in the air and in the political, so I don't know what TWC's funding is.
Because you could enroll them with the possibility of them not receiving funding, which I really don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Just so they know, hey, we're enrolling you with the thought that you will get funding, but in the event that you don't, this would be your cost.
Yes, and right now we have 10 maybes, and the reason why we have, out of the 70, we have 10 maybes. The maybes are because they're pending like a LPAC or the language testing. And so as soon as that is confirmed through the LPAC, they would be eligible. And then we have 3 no. So out of the 70, only 3 do not, are eligible for pre-K, which would not be eligible for the Texas Workforce Commission.
Are any of those children of employees?
No, the 3, no, sir.
I don't know, it just seems like I haven't added it. This is the first time I've seen these numbers. It's 213,734 plus 183,600 per year. I mean, it seems like it makes up the 385, and if it is, this is our first time reporting and doing everything. I feel I'm aligning with what Jesse said, is that we haven't properly notified them, but I don't think that our numbers, we would assume a very large amount. I'm trying to add it real quick, but I don't think that we would assume that very large of amount. Even if we got all of this, that adds up to 397,334. And this says the cost is 385,000.
So if our attendance is 90%, so if and they had 82% attendance, people are using that 6-hour wraparound as drop-in care. Sometimes the kids come, sometimes they don't. And so people need to have some kind of skin in the game. No other daycare is charging nothing for their services.
There was an issue with that because of the way it was being run with the Crossroads, but it's going to be different. Crossroads is not, that was impacting the funding with the kids from Crossroads that were coming in. That was impacting the attendance rate, from what I understand.
I'm not sure.
So
I'm
the children from Crossroads that have children go to the daycare.
It's a very small amount of it.
Very small amount, and the
It's a
most
very
of the
small
kiddos that was the attendance was the infant and toddler program, which
Right.
that we're not carrying
You're
the
not
infant
doing
and
that.
toddler because of the attendance of Crossroads teen parents. So we will work with them to help find daycare because it was not fiscally responsible for us to keep the infant and toddler room. We had maybe 1 student all year long, and running 2 people by our guidelines of being a 4-star daycare. It wasn't even the same kid every day.
So like if what you're saying, and we start charging $600 for the 70 kids that we have coming in. Is that what you're saying?
My recommendation would be that if we hold parents accountable to getting all their paperwork through Texas Middle Rio Grande, so that they understand that it would be no cost to them. It would be no cost to them if they get for all but 3 of them. As long as they get their paperwork in and their kids are here 90% of the time, then it gets paid for by Middle Rio Grande and the Texas Workforce Commission. So we don't have to worry about it. But whenever we just keep paying for everything, parents don't have skin in the game. So we have an 82% attendance rate. They use it as drop-in care. It's a daycare for them. I mean, there's no daycare that's free.
And Ms. Salima did say that she did tell them to apply for the TWC, and you'll be placed on the wait list. And we told them that they might have a parent fee depending on their income. So they were notified when they filled out the 2 packets in June and July.
So you said only 3 families have to pay because they won't qualify?
No, 3 kids do not qualify for pre-K. So even if they come on that ADA side of them, the state will not pay because there's 3 kids that do not qualify that are on the list because they're not pre-K eligible.
So they would have to pay.
Well, that's a
Or they-
determination. If we don't have a tuition base and we open up all of them, so we're already paying for those 3 on the 3 additional hours. And so we would be paying for those on the ADA as well as the childcare.
So I don't know if this is a real thing. So there's a waiting list. So will the child that qualifies for funding trump them, or they're just in line the way they signed up? Do you know?
We want to go with the ones that qualified the need basis first. We're trying to do needs basis first, and then we will go from there. But we have not.
I didn't know if there was rules or anything about that yet.
No, we're trying to accept everybody, but we
Right.
did tell them, hey, attendance is important. Miss Sullivan did a fantastic job, and Dr. Vilches signing the attendance, knowing that if your attendance drops, that there are kiddos in the waiting list and you will have to exit the program and somebody else will take that spot. So that is something that they did during registration as well.
If it goes through, how soon, you approve tonight, how soon before you start billing them?
I believe it starts August 6th. I'm sorry, I forgot the first day of school. First day of school starting. And one of the things that we did for the 3 hours, we are going to have to use the childcare and the ADA on a couple Fridays. So Dr. Velch's and I are looking to see when are some Fridays that we can open up the pre-K3 and the daycare, just so we can keep the hours low. So we are trying to minimize our overtime and use some of those Fridays for daycare as well.
Thank you.
I think we might end up impacting our funding. And actually, I think it seems like everything would be paid if we get everything filed, and I think that it's being done. I think that has been the plan to get them to apply. Is that right, Amy? They're applying to.
They're
get
as
the-
part of the packet. Yes. sir.
So they're applying, and so we would actually make money based on these numbers here. And if we didn't get that, if we didn't hit it, then it would be 100 and something thousand. And it just seems, I mean, we're offering this program, but that's estimating that every single person has to pay out of their pocket and that they don't qualify, right?
Well, if TWC is confirmed, and Ms. Solema is very close with them, so we have 3 already confirmed. They're already being paid. So those kids from day one won't have any contribution from a parent because they're already TWC. This is strictly until they are approved through the TWC to receive the funding. It isn't every kid every day. It's only those that are waiting or have not received, not qualifying for the funding. I see that she says that they have 68 enrolled right now, and there's 15 confirmed on the waiting list, and we have 3 that were approved so far.
I'm just afraid that we're gonna lose them. I'm sorry. And the reason is because we haven't given them proper notice. And I know you're saying you said to them, but most people have to plan within their budget. And it's not a lot of money, but $600 is a lot for people for childcare. And so I don't know who's taking advantage of this program. Is it kids, students, staff members? I mean, who, and would they go off somewhere else? I just don't know the benefit of doing this at this point. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
I was gonna say.
Sorry.
I think if they go somewhere else, they're gonna have to pay.
Right, and they're
Correct.
already ready to
And
pay
at
somewhere
this
else.
point,
I mean, if it's not the 33 that we want, then what do we want? I just know that we have to have something to maintain. If not, we won't be able to do it next year. Then we will have no pre-K3 program next year. And so we just want to make sure that we leave the opportunity there. So that's.
Well,
Is
and
it
it's
is-
not like we're the only, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
we're the only pre-K3 open, so, go ahead.
I think that gives them like an incentive, obviously if they want to get it paid for, I mean, just fill out,
Just fill out
apply.
paperwork.
Just
Apply,
Yeah.
correct.
Well, they,
That's what I'm concerned about, is that if they don't know that they're not gonna, like, if they know that it's gonna be free, then what's the incentive to then fill out the paperwork? Like, people, like, everybody has to have skin in the game.
And I'm totally with you. What I'm concerned about is not enough notice. August 6th is around the corner. I can see maybe waiting a month to start charging, but little notice, but a few days.
will they
That's a
be
lot.
back
That's a lot,
paid?
and that's gonna, I'm sorry, Robert, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
So if they apply now, let's say we approve this, they apply now, and it doesn't get processed till a week afterwards. We'll,
Is it retro?
Yeah.
That's what he
Is it
said.
retroactive? I
That
don't
would
know.
be- That would be a decision. I mean, they also have to be a month ahead, so we are already going to have to pay for 2 weeks ahead. That's part of the programming. So like, it's not like there's not a, they don't bill you and you're in delinquent. Once you're in delinquent, you're out, the district is automatic paying anyways. So we are already starting to pay for them as long as we are accepting and continuing.
I kind of like what Jesse just mentioned. I think can we give them a grace period that says you have, because it's next week, maybe we say we'll do this, but on, I don't know, the 16th, I don't even know what the calendar is, but whatever Monday is, if it's not done by this day, or you haven't done your full application, then you're gonna have to start being charged this amount,
Give them till September 1.
something like that.
well, that's not for their application, their
No,
application.
no, no, but
They need to
that
put it in,
we will start charging September 1st.
yes. And
Is that-
then it gives them time
To look for alternatives.
for an alternative.
That's my biggest.
But then
thing.
also gives them time to fill out the paperwork, and more than likely they're gonna get approved. And it also shows them the importance of attendance and all of that.
I would say they don't
That's what we
have
need to
their
do.
paperwork submitted before
They
it
do.
starts, then we go to the wait list.
Yeah,
Right.
yes,
Because you
exactly.
can do the paperwork in a day easily.
Right.
You can have a liaison or something.
I mean, maybe by the end, I don't even know what the week is. What is Friday? By Friday, no, not that Friday, the 8th. So first day is the 6th. So by the 8th, they need to have it submitted or go to the wait list. But then we'll give them a grace period till September 1st for them to complete it. And if after that, we'll start charging if it's not done by then.
Well, we
And
can
it gives-
accept, we already have too many kids according to the spots that we have, so we can definitely prioritize that have already submitted their paperwork and go from there. And I know Salima and her crew have fantastic about sitting across from the parents and filling out all the paperwork. And if we want to burden the cost until September 1st, I'm good with it. We could add it to the letter, and if that's what we decide to do, we just adapt the letter.
But I think them knowing, like, you're just not gonna come and go as you please, like, these are the rules and we'll move on to the
Yeah.
next. I think it's good that we started that way. Well, I'm sure the workforce, it's made it very clear.
I think Salima's made it
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah.
I
So I
believe
think
you.
they'll get it done, but I think if we give them a deadline, you're gonna start being charged
Charged.
on this day, and we'll give them a grace period so that if they didn't know, at least they're gonna know.
So if they don't come up with the payment, do they get kicked out?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, unfortunately, because we have a waiting list.
But we're not the only
We're
3K
not the
program.
only-
Like, it's not like we're the only one. It's just gonna highly benefit our district and then put them in the system to move on to Dalton,
And
And I know
we-
this is like a management thing, I'm not, but for clarity. So that payment is a one-time payment, weekly
It's
payment, or-
monthly.
Monthly.
So one
They would
time
have to,
monthly
one
payment?
time a month, they would have to make their payment until after September 1st.
But they'll
Hopefully
let-
they would get.
no, I mean,
Oh, yes.
They'll work with Middle Rio, and then we would have to work with Pam to set up the
Kev.
school cash. So we could work with that, and then Middle Rio TWC would pay through that.
Thank you.
All right, so September 1,
September.
we need to notify parents that they have basically the month of August to get all their paperwork submitted and approved. So they need to get it in quick so that they can hopefully get approved.
And then we will prioritize those that have already been accepted and/or have got their paperwork in, and then we'll go from there on the wait
Yeah.
list.
And then we notify parents that as of September 1, if they are not approved by Middle Rio, they will start paying
Okay.
for the wraparound daycare services. Gives them a month to figure out, do they want to do this or something else?
Yeah,
I mean,
for
I think-
next year's planning,
Yeah. Right, until they get it.
when can they apply?
yeah.
That's a great question, and I will have to ask TWC and Miss Ibata.
So that way next year we can say by this date you apply, and so they'll know in advance. The earlier they can apply next year, we can be ahead of this and
Well, yeah, and we'll have those numbers and know who qualifies, who doesn't, and they'll know
And
almost.
they can make decisions.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and the good thing is that they're in pre-K3, they're automatically in pre-K4, and they're already receiving that funding through ADA. So it does benefit us
It
in
does.
multiple years once we get them in. Hence the reason why we had added 2 additional classes and did working with our local daycares to do the infants and toddlers for our students.
Our student parents.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
You need to say it, Jim.
Madam Board President,
He's
I make a motion for the approval of the dissemination of the pre-K 3 protocol aligning the ADA funded instructional day and the optional tuition-based wraparound care for the 2025-2026 school year as presented by our administration.
Do we need to specify all that other stuff on there?
Is it-
We're done.
As suggested, I mean, yes, I think you do.
He
You
said
have to
as-
say
Yes, that we'll start funding September 1, or parents will have to start paying September 1 if they're not accepted into the program. Yeah,
And,
yeah, starting September 1.
Starting September 1, if not, the parent will start paying after that date.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Flores, second by trustee Quinones. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Item 8, consider approval of 2025-2026 compensation plan.
Okay. Per DEA local, the superintendent is required to recommend to the Board of Trustees an annual compensation plan for all district employees. The compensation plan may include wage and salary structures, stipends, benefits, and incentives. The compensation plan is presented for approval each year. This plan is for the 25-26 school year and includes salaries, stipends, mileage reimbursement rates, extra duty, substitute rates, and the teacher incentive allotment spending plan. Included in this compensation plan are the following proposed items. Teacher placement pay schedule includes the increases required by House Bill 2 for teachers with at least 3 years of completed service, and includes a $300 pay increase for teachers in the 0 to 2 year experience range. Non-teacher pay schedule includes the following changes. Workday calendar adjustments for the groups that were presented at the board on June 23rd, 2025. Per the board's recommendation, pay scales were adjusted for the groups on the transportation, child nutrition, food services, pay plans for all employees impacted by a reduced number of workdays. These pay increases included starting pay minimum of $20.15 for bus drivers, which is an increase of $4 an hour. Starting pay minimum of $14.25 for bus monitors and bus driver trainees, which is an increase of $3 an hour. Starting pay minimum $14.25 for food service workers, which is an increase of $3 an hour. Starting pay minimum of $15.59 for cafeteria assistant managers, which is an increase of $3 an hour. Starting pay minimum of $16.97 for elementary school and junior high cafeteria manager, which is an increase of $3 an hour. Starting pay minimum $19.21 for high school cafeteria assistant manager, which is an increase of $3 an hour. Stipend schedule for 25-26 school year included the following changes. Stipend recommendations with adjusted decreases or increases equivalent to 10% based on the board's recommendation at the July 21st meeting for any stipends that changed from the previous year, excluding stipends that were recommended for elimination. The elementary grade level chair stipend and the junior high tennis assistant coaching stipend were deleted. Both stipends were proposed as new adds. Mileage reimbursement rates reduced to 60 cents per mile for 24-25, which is a decrease from 67 cents per mile for the 24-25 school year. And mind you, we do have the option to check out White Fleet to drive. So you can get a vehicle if you are going somewhere, as opposed to using your own vehicle and putting in for mileage. Extra duty rates and athletic event pay rates, no changes from 24-25. Substitute pay rates, no changes from 24-25. Updated teacher incentive allotment spending plan. Libraries and nurses were moved from the teacher pay scale to the professional pay scale. The remaining funds from the SSRA allotment, as mandated by House Bill 2, will be used to provide pay increases as described previously for other eligible employees. This proposal will be presented to the board for approval as part of the annual budget in August of 2025 in that board meeting. So that is our recommendation.
So
That's our.
for the first thing, did anybody have anything to talk about the teacher schedule? If we don't, we can just move that aside.
I know.
No one?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so if y'all want to go by focus on one and then the other one, and
Sounds
then we
good.
can go that way. And then second, I just wanted to bring up that we don't get paid at all. We're not part of
I
admin.
thought y'all got
No, we-
a double pay increase.
No, I've had a few people ask me why we're not cutting our salary.
Oh, because y'all don't get paid. Y'all are total volunteers.
That says it.
So
So maybe we should reduce our.
you could let people know.
Board members, board members
They
are
think
strictly
we're-
volunteer, and I vote we give them 100% raise, and double of nothing is nothing.
Yeah, I've had a few people ask me why we're getting a raise, and I said, I'm actually negative to the school district since I pay.
Yeah, no,
So-
full board members are volunteers.
No, not yet.
So make a motion to like decrease the don't pay.
Yeah, I will gladly double our, take no reduction.
Where do you want to
We
start
are-
the?
I think stipends, you
Yeah,
want to start on stipends?
We can start in stipend. This is the one. I don't know. I guess this one's so small. It's great. Thank you for the comparison. I just have bad vision, so. Like,
Can y'all tell me which form you're looking at, please?
a colored one.
Okay, the 25-26 proposed stipends and pay rate.
This
Thank
one.
you.
There's two of them. The one is the one with the new. Totals on it. Like questions? You gonna bring one?
No, not yet. I just wanted us to go.
Prioritize one at a time.
Yeah, that way,
Um,
instead of just going back.
Yes, I mean, the only one I have, the question I have, okay, there's a question I have on here, which I don't think we ever went to it. Cause it's so far down, hold on. Okay. Well, I'm looking at it right now, the master's getting eliminated, the master's degree, the incentive for that was eliminated. It seems like, it was said that they were gonna get 500, but they're not even getting anything.
So master's degrees do not, are not research-based as having student impact. There's not any research that says that having a master's degree person as a teacher increases student achievement. And our overall goal, like we're getting one step closer, right? But our overall goal, especially with teacher incentive allotment and wanting to hopefully move to, as we go forward, a more performance-based compensation plan. There's no research that says having a master's degree promotes better outcomes for kids. So from our view, it would be better to save the $48,000 and use that to do other things and
Don't
incentivize.
most
performance.
districts only give you that stipend if it's in something that you.
So the districts that remain, that still give it, because a lot of districts have done away with it, again, because it's not research-based. It has to be in, like if you're a reading teacher, then your master's has to be in reading to get the stipend. If you're a math teacher, then your master's would have to be in math to get the stipend. That is,
Yeah, I agree with that, Ms. Colas. I mean, from a college standpoint, I mean, I think I know it's not research based, but I think if we, if faculty members want to increase their learning and they end up getting a master's degree. And I mean, even if it's not now, I think that's something once we get kind of our fund balance back up and we do give them some type of incentive if they are master prepared for their content based instruction, they should have some type of stipend. Again, not now, because we have to really focus on things, on other things. But I think if that's something we can just kind of look at in the future.
Thank you. I would like to see us do incentive-based, like student performance incentive-based type things.
Oh yes, what 100%. Yes,
Promoting,
I think that is very. Um, I think that's something we definitely need to do for our teachers that are able to like really impact the students and they up their learning.
I think, I mean, that might be hard to measure. I don't know how that would be measured, but maybe attendance based. I don't know if that's possible as an incentive for them to.
That's so hard because.
Well, I just don't, I don't know how you would measure it for education.
oh,
and then it would
by
be-
test scores. It goes by, like we see where we measure student growth data. We have a ton of student growth data.
So back to the master's degree, there's 55 people that are going to be impacted by that. That's a lot of people that are being deducted.
That's how many thousands we've requested, because if new teachers are coming in, we don't know if they have an master's or not. That doesn't mean we pay 55 now.
So you had it allocated for 55. So do you know? Sorry,
I
That
don't
was
know.
fast.
exactly.
go ahead.
And then yeah, so
So you don't know how many,
I don't know the exact number.
I wonder, is it said, so what you're saying here in this total is it was 55,000 allocated, not spent?
Yes, I
Right.
mean, when we're building it, especially with the hiring season, we don't know everybody that has a master's. A lot of times we don't know that till November when they bring it in. So we estimate how many we would need, and then we have them to have it budgeted if we need.
do we know how much we gave out last year?
I don't know, because then I would have to know how many people. There's something I can look at, but off the top of my head, I don't.
So the one I was gonna ask about was the lead. And it kind of goes along with another one, but it's in a different one. It's the lead, where is it? Assessment staff, LSSP. The LSSPs, they're individuals credentialed. There's 2 of them that y'all have. I don't know why do y'all need a lead one? Why do y'all need a lead stipend? It just seems like they're individuals on their own reviewing students. It doesn't seem like it's very necessary to have a stipend for the lead. If there's only 2 and there's the same credential, there's not someone that has more credential than the other.
I don't have a problem with cutting that stipend. I think that we have an assistant director and a director of SPED who should be scheduling, help, like monitoring their schedules, LSSPs. Can you think of why we would, when there's only 2, why we would have a stipend for lead?
Well,
LSSP?
staff, that's for your diagnosticians, probably more than just LSSPs.
Yeah,
They probably oversee to ensure that all the. Test. Yeah,
Ms. Graber, you oversee CNI, you have SPED under you. What do you think?
I mean,
LSSP does
I'm-
a lot of the assessments, they do a lot of the extra days, they do a lot of the extra write-ups and stuff of the assessments to try to keep us in compliance, because we do get a lot of evaluations. So they carry the burden of the extra days or the extra traveling and the extras that are needed to meet them timelines, but we also do contracted services, so.
So what does the lead do? Because this stipend's for the lead LSSP.
Right, and she does all of the scheduling for and keeps up with all of the evaluations that are coming in, the child fund, the 3-year-olds, the early education ones that really aren't on a school, maybe the private school ones, as well as the ones that were going to hospitals and testing and assessing. So that's what she's kind of do. She kind of oversees the whole assessment and then
And-
divvies it out.
And I don't want to discredit, I really, I know Robert doesn't want me to do this, but the other one, I really do think that these people, the dyslexia people and the LSSP people and the speech pathologist, I don't know how many we have, but I mean, I know we're cutting their days. I don't know how we compensate them. I just don't think it's a stipend. I know we're putting them in a stipend, but it just seems like we shouldn't compensate them through a stipend. We should compensate them through their pay. So, I mean, we cut their days, but I don't think we need a stipend. We need to look at their pay.
Well, how many of them? There's two of them.
There's just two, but
Okay,
like
dyslexia and LSSP.
the dyslexia people and
Are they separate people or are they?
I think there's like 3 or something like that, but
Dyslexia, we moved back to campuses. And so dyslexia is truly campus based at this
Right.
point. And so we moved all of dyslexia teachers back on campus. So they are taking care of that campus and sitting in meetings and giving interventions. So I could see that one since and then we have our assistant director that oversees all of dyslexia. I know LSSPs, I agree. They're very hard to find and they're very expensive. And contracted services is very expensive for LSSPs. So I could definitely just say
how
that
does
equity
that
and pay.
look though? What can we do to help them stay? Because I'm afraid they're gonna leave. And I don't think we should do it with a stipend. I think, because we cut them 5 days. They're at 2. And I know we're not supposed to do the day thing, because I understand what Pam is saying about if we increase the pay and not the days, but the day. If we just leave the days because the kids are here, but we increase the pay.
But when they did reduce the number of days, they did an equity audit and salary review, and there were adjustments made.
So they got paid more for less days.
But the numbers don't reflect that here.
But it's
In their
hard to tell
salary.
for us because it could
This
be
is just
down
the stipend.
here where they here too.
But right here, it says this, okay, the dyslexia person one person lost 10 days. They lost $3,500. The speech pathologist was decreased by 9 days. 2 people lost, it was a savings of 10,000. So I'm guessing 5,000 apiece. And then the LSSPs says decreased to 212, 2 people. And they lost 3932.
And I believe that was before the equity.
Before the equity audit. Or an adjustment.
So then what is that then? Because it still shows on here that they're decreased.
There was no reduction in pay whatsoever. Her daily rate actually went up, so she's earning the same annual salary that she earned for 216 days. Now earning at 212 days after we did a salary review for her.
So that was not, do they know that? Because I've heard,
They know that.
well, they seem to believe that they have a decrease. Even the dyslexia person.
But the 5 we did that. I have last year's pay and what the recommended for this year's pay is. Y'all are able to see them so that we all see who had a difference in it and who didn't, but everybody was served a letter.
And they signed this, right? This
Correct.
letter? Because I know the hospital, we got a merit increase and it did. That's how it shows what you were making, what your stipend is or your increase. And then you have to sign it, right?
Correct.
So they know.
For stipends, because
Right.
stipends are accrued annually. But when it comes to salary, we did a salary review and we'd be given credit for the year's service. And so we even asked for updated service records that they thought they were missing from. But it was a very lengthy process.
What I saw on here, and I don't have it right in front of me, was that it decreased across the board from for every range. I don't have it. I'll look for it right now. Because I reviewed it based from 24-25 to right now, and the numbers are decreased.
On stipends?
No, on pay.
On pay.
On pay. Sorry, I don't have it. I'll find it right now. Oh, it's right here.
I have a clarification question. How are we doing this? I mean, we talked about masters and then we just kind of moved away. Did we all agree on that, or how do we, or we're just kind of
Sorry, I
tossing
mean,
things out there, or?
Yeah, we just bounced around.
I mean,
Because I think we should,
Finish
I know we
and then
can't,
move on.
I know we can't vote on it, but I think we should just finish one before we jump to the other one. Otherwise, we're gonna circle back around again.
well, I
That's
was
what I
just
think.
following what, sorry. Okay,
Thoughts?
go ahead.
I
Sorry.
think we, yeah, I mean, if you have other questions, I think we covered it and then we moved on to. I felt like we moved on, or did you have questions?
I did
We
on
can
the-
go back.
yeah, I
We can
just-
go back.
It's kind of like, is it gonna move, or is it gonna, like, did we eliminate it? We agreed with that, or?
My
Yes.
recommendation is
Just to delete it?
is to delete that and like, let's get, like, let's keep
Perform-
working toward a compensation plan that is more performance-based. And if we do end up with, you know, our attendance is 92% and we end up with money, then we would love to come back to y'all in May and do some kind of, you know, performance-based something. I mean, we could do that if our attendance stays good and our money's up. There's an amount of money that we could probably divvy up to teachers that meet their SLO or whatever. We'd have to figure out what to do there. But really, we would need to build that in over a few years. But if we don't start to rectify and if we don't start to use research-based, you know, things that prove to be good for kids, outcomes, for student outcomes. If we don't focus on paying for those things, then we don't ever make the shift to a performance-based compensation plan.
So
So
way of thinking, it's, I get, it just, you know, for me, going through the college, you know, masters, a lot of time, a lot of money, the investment. And I always feel like they should be rewarded, I mean, they work for it, rewarded in the college and get compensated for that. That's
So-
my concern.
They can use that same money and get national board certified and automatically.
Be
qualify
TIA.
for TIA.
Right. And if their master's degree helps them to be better teachers and they truly are better teachers, then they get TIA and that's thousands, it's up to $17,000. We have, it's a lot. So like, when we only focus on, like, having the master's degree is really a low bar. What we want our people to do is have major impact, great impact on student achievement. And whenever they do that, they qualify for teacher incentive allotment. It's a lot of money. So
I don't
It's like
agree
a
with
term-
that. I think master's degree is not a low bar. I think it's something that's,
I know what you mean. I'm thinking.
Somebody, you know,
like,
no, I know, and I'm not, I have a
Just
master's
literally
degree. I'm
just
not
like
saying
that.
it's a low bar. What I'm saying is what we're incentivizing. If we're just incentivizing people to get a master's degree and come in a classroom, that's what I mean. It's, the incentive is low. Like,
So-
how is it impacting
what,
students?
what would you recommend? Like, what could we add to this compensation plan that would incentivize them right now? Is there something we could add to it that we would say we could add it as an incentive for them to do better right now, that we don't have to wait for it? We
So-
take up for it.
Teacher incentive allotment. Like, the state of Texas pays for the teacher incentive allotment. So if they are meeting student growth, like if their student growth shows, you know, that they're educating kids at a high level. We had how many people on the stage today? 20, 17 people on the stage today that are getting between probably
It's no less than 200,000 as the group.
as a
Ranges
group.
Between rectangles from about 7,000 to, it could be up to $30,000.
Between $7,000 and $30,000. So when,
And evaluation.
yeah, so
What if we had a stipend that was for the uncertified teachers upon receiving it?
They also came with TIA.
Would they
They
get a
also can
stipend? Could
receive
we give
TIA.
them a stipend that would incentivize them to get that done?
to get certified,
Well, but they get an increase.
right? They're at 40,
Pay scale, the regular.
they get
So
an
that's the incentive.
$8,000
Yeah, that's
raise
incentive.
when they get.
Well, I'm just thinking what you said about the incentive and I know what Jesse's saying. I understand we're losing, some people are losing money and it kind of gives them an incentive to, how can I attain this? And I understand what Ms. Cole is saying, you know, we can give them a plan for that, but what could we do now for them? It might not be 55,000, but it could be, and I don't know, you were the one that made the
Well,
suggestion. I don't know
I
what
think
that looks like.
teacher incentive allotment already incentivizes teachers and the state of Texas pays for that dollar for dollar. Okay, yes, sir.
Mr. Swords,
Yes.
Quick question on the teacher incentive allotment. Is that for all teachers, including like the band teachers, or is it just core, or what is it?
Ms. Graber? Y'all just worked on that.
This year we added pre-K through 2 teachers. Previously, to this year that it was STAR tested subjects, so it was 3 through EOCs. And then we are trying to modify this year to add more teachers because our goal is to have everyone doing the teacher incentive allotment, but we have to do it in phases because it's an extraordinary amount of data and I don't have the staff to dedicate to it that needs it. And so we have to modify our application every year. So right now it is K through 2 teachers, pre-K through 2 teachers, and it is our EOC tested, our STAR and EOC tested subjects.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I love the teacher incentive allotment, and that's really great. But you know, kind of going back to what Trustee Rizzo and Gonzalez are saying, I'm just taking, let's just say, band director who may have a master's degree, and it's in that content based area, but there's no teacher incentive allotment for that. Is that correct? Did I hear you correctly?
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't have teacher incentive allotment for it.
That would qualify to do that.
Thank you.
Could we just
My
modify
suggestion-
this to if it's a master's degree
In their subject
field.
area, in the subject area that they're
That's a
teaching
good
in.
idea.
That would be happy.
I think that's a good one.
Robert, I think you're good. I like it.
So
you've given me a raise. So if we're good with that one, we can.
So we're adding back the master's stipend
Yes.
In related field.
in specific content area.
Yeah.
With a certified transcript.
All right, can we mute him?
No, he's.
JJ, we went from not hearing you to when you talk, you blast us, so we're not making fixes.
It's because I took my earbuds off. So
They teach, and you're saying also they need to be certified. They also need to be
Yeah.
certified teachers,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
They- Yeah, and must be certified.
I mean, it would make
Makes
Makes
best
sense.
sense.
because we need to
If you can get
still,
a master's, you can pass your
yeah.
test.
All right, so adding back master's stipend in their content area. So the masters can't be in basket weaving if you teach reading. It must be in reading if you teach reading to get it.
that's correct.
Okay. And they must be certified to get it.
That's correct.
Administrator, no ma'am. And once
Pam,
they
you
leave
do.
the
You
classroom,
qualify.
they don't, once they leave the classroom, it's,
They switch.
yeah, if they switch jobs into administration or anything else, a non-teaching professional, they get a bump. So that, and they need a master's degree for it. So you don't get a stipend for that.
That makes sense.
All right.
The question I have, and maybe this is somewhere else, but back to stipends. I'm sorry, were we supposed to do something else?
No, I mean, no,
Yes,
we're
you
good.
looked at me like-
No, we're good. Let's not come back and keep coming back. so
Right.
we'll move forward.
The extra days for the 10 extra days, what was that for? It says eliminated. What was that used for?
So generally speaking,
Just wondering.
in other districts, coaches either get days or they get a stipend. A stipend is to cover extra days and nights and weekend, like whenever outside of your 40 hours a week. That's what a stipend covers. So generally, districts either pay a stipend or extra days. We were paying both extra days and a stipend. And so we are now paying a stipend.
Yes. Anybody else?
Jackie, did we, because I know we came back, did we answer all your questions on the lead assessment staff and LSSP and election?
I mean, we're gonna talk about the days, I think, in a little bit, because we're still with the stipends, but I still want to advocate for those ag coaches, because I really do believe if we can't add extra days to them, I think they should be at 67.50, like a head coach. And I mean, from what I understand, we only have 2 right now. So it wouldn't be that 15,000, or it would be 67.50 for that one.
I wrote that somewhere.
Last page.
It's the last page.
There it is. I wrote it down.
They really do a lot, and I know they do state competition. They have all kinds of competitions they go to, and it's such a big deal in Uvalde. They have a lot of kids too, so they impact a lot of people. I was hoping we could increase their days, but it doesn't sound like we would increase their days according to what you're saying. But I would say definitely advocate for the 67.50 as a head coach for those 2 positions that are there to compensate them for the time that they're spending with the kids and taking them on shows. And they're basically coaches. They are coaches.
Is there any opposition to that? Would anybody like to share any opposition to that?
No, I think we raise them to the head coach. That's good.
Okay. So stipends, in addition to the masters in specific content area, must be certified. Ag teachers, our stipend would be 67.50. Is that what we said?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I have one more. I'm gonna go to bat again. On Batesville, is there anything that we can do for them? Even anything, 500, anything?
We're giving them a car to ride back and forth together in. That's a pretty good, that's the same thing we did for officers that we're desperate for. You know,
So I'm sorry, we talked about pay for travel, the cents per mile or
Mileage.
whatever mileage. Do they get that if they travel?
so no,
No.
because we're offering them a vehicle to travel back and forth in. Like, we're offering them transportation. We're going to offer them transportation. And I think it's worthy to note that, like, we don't offer the people who live in Batesville and teach in Uvalde a stipend to drive here. We don't offer Crystal City or Eagle Pass officers a stipend to come. They're the same boat, and they're going to get a vehicle to go back and forth in. So that's help right there, like getting to carpool in a district vehicle.
I knew it's
Same as what we're doing for.
It's still gonna cost us money. It will
Yep.
cost us.
Right.
I mean, you see that.
It still will
The
cost
maintenance
us
on the
money.
vehicle.
It will still cost us money. It'll just cost us less money.
But
Yeah, we do that. We do that at the college as well. Like, if there's a group of instructors teaching in Eagle Pass, they carpool in a White Fleet vehicle from Uvalde to Eagle Pass.
And
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be too bad if we just meet and go.
Right.
JJ's right. That's what
They have
happens.
to figure out logistics, but yeah.
That's what happens. They pick up a car and take it. And that's what we're offering them as an option. So
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
it's okay. I think, but it's still, it's not saying no to them. It's just giving them an option of how to utilize, because it's still gonna cost us money.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's good.
You can always revisit next year if we have a drop, or if you're like, I'm out. And
No, true.
next year, let's see. how-
Trustee,
Like we said, we're gonna see what the police pass,
Right.
dropping their.
Trustee Rizzo, I want to make sure, Trustee Rizzo, I want to make sure I understood your question. Can you repeat your question, what it was?
That we're eliminating the travel stipend, 38.50. for the Batesville. Staff.
Okay.
I'll leave the Batesville and, you know, I've been advocating for that, trying to keep anything. But they did, you know, mention that they would provide a vehicle, so.
Yeah.
You know, and they understand too, I mean, the
That's-
attendance.
That's the way they used to do it before. It's just the problem that the principals over there were having getting teachers over there. And it's like every year, it's like new teachers. So there was a problem maintaining, keeping them over there. And that was the reason that we approved the stipend to kind of like, to attract them to stay there.
What if we do a cap on it? What if we say 4 stipends available?
But then how do you decide who
How
gets
do you
it?
decide? Well, the only reason, and I'm going off of what Javier just shared, was that it gives, and I don't know who hires, I guess the principal, an option. It's almost like our Slate Creek, an option, an incentive to say, come, we have a stipend. If it's somebody interested in coming, we have a stipend that we can offer you. That could and maybe not this value, maybe it's 1,000 or something. We could decrease it to 1,000 but only a certain amount, which there's only 14 there. Is that how many teachers there are? Is that? No.
No,
yes.
How many?
9.
There's 9.
I don't, I'm just suggesting something.
I would hate to get into the point where you're like, I have 4, now it's Game of Thrones for stipends. I really would want
Yeah.
anybody feeling left out, or, you know, put the principal in that position. You have 4 stipend, and now how do I pick? And then people are like, give it to me.
Performance based.
No, well,
Yeah.
and the only reason I say that is
Come in.
because of what Javier shared, and I've read a little bit about these incentive programs, because that's what happened, I think, in Rock Springs or something like that. You have to offer incentives for people to go to these smaller towns. They just don't go. And if it's gonna cost more for them, but we are offering them the car.
Yeah.
And so that's
Yes.
something. And so
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Same as for the police officers from Eagle Pass. We're offering them a vehicle to commute in together.
But this
One.
is the last year. Yeah.
Right. It is the
Right.
last year for that. We were only going to do it 1 year. So
moving.
Yeah.
Stay for
Yeah. Next step.
What's the next?
let's keep moving.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It
Yeah.
is you're right. The only reason is based on what Javier and Jesse are arguing, and I completely understand, because it is difficult for
It is.
Batesville to have schools, and that's the teachers over there. And so that's the only thing I can see in trying to meet in the middle with this, is to offer them something. And maybe we don't need it. Maybe they don't even use it. You know, they're like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But at least it's an option for them
Yeah. In a district vehicle.
in a district
And
vehicle.
I think too, you know, that I think these teachers are just committed to
They
it. So
are.
whether they get to 3,800 or not, it helps, but ultimately they love Batesville. So.
It's a great place.
Moving
Okay.
forward. Anything else? I did not mean to. Did I yell? I'm sorry. You didn't.
No, you didn't.
You sound demanding.
Did I yell?
Anything else?
Any other questions or?
Not on the stipends, but I do
Okay.
want to go back to those speech pathologists and the people, the LSSPs
Okay,
and
so
dyslexia people, which I don't even know where they are here, but
we're good with the stipends, right?
Yes.
We're gonna move forward. Everyone agree? Yes. Okay.
So the LSSPs are going to be on the professional
yes.
pay plan.
And I know they do more, I know Ms. Graber was talking about this. They do have a lot of work that they do. I do believe we cut LSSPs by 5 days, and we cut the speech pathologist by 9 days. And
If they have to come in and test, though, we do pay them, correct? They get extra duty if they're testing outside of their,
I'm using the
Right.
green one. I don't know if that's the same.
so they do get paid.
It's the post compensation plan.
Mhm.
And I'm on,
So if an LSSP, if we're behind and an LSSP has to test on Saturday, then they get paid extra duty to test on a Saturday. If it's beyond whenever they are off duty in the summer and we need them to come in and test, they get paid off duty, like they get paid to do it.
so this is what I got, what I wrote down. I compared last year's compensation plan to this year's. And what I have is for the LSSPs, 212 days is what we're trying to approve versus the 217. And the difference, the minimum difference was 1,600. The midpoint difference was 1,900 and the maximum difference was 2,300.
Right, but they got
So-
adjustments, they got adjustments.
So we have two LSSP. One has been an LSSP, the other one had not. It was actually a change in position. And so, and it was the choice of the individual. And so whenever they did that change, they were given the salary and we did a salary review on that one as well. So we did two salary reviews on that.
And they both are they both making more money in less days? So they're both making more money in fewer days. And if they have to test outside those days, they get extra duty pay.
Well, I don't know why they would say they're getting less. So, I mean,
I don't
can
either.
you confirm that?
Well, I mean,
You
that's,
have it somewhere
Yeah.
there?
Yoli, I'm sorry. Can you move to the front row, Yoli?
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
It said,
This has to be a closed session.
Okay, yes, they were just asking about their salaries from, for the LSSPs from last year to this year. So looking at the,
you don't,
24.
he's telling JJ.
but you don't have to say the number though. I don't want to.
No, I won't say numbers.
No.
It's just, yes, for one, its salary is the same for less days. So their daily rate actually increased. And so their annual salary is exactly the same. For the other, there was actually an increase in salary, less days.
So, well, I mean, I don't know what to say. Their days are decreased. I mean, speech pathologists are 197 days.
So I was just
Yeah.
talking about the LSSPs. If we're talking about another group, maybe we need to,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and that's the LSSPs only.
Okay, so the LSSPs, you're saying there was no change, even though there's a decrease on all of them across the board.
Correct. One was no change in salary at all. The other one had an increase in salary.
And
with
for
the decrease
fewer
in
days,
Mhm.
for they work less days. And if they have to come in outside those days, they get paid for that.
Okay, and so then how do you determine how they get paid?
Based on their years of service in the area they're serving.
So if someone has more years, they normally get paid more on the right?
So there's actually a calculation that we use. It's the years of service times 1.25% times the minimum pay grade plus the minimum pay grade. And that's how we determine what their salary should be.
Okay, so that's how you do it with everybody.
Everybody.
Yes.
Okay, so then I don't know if anybody has any other questions about the LSSPs. I just want to make sure these are people that if they leave, we're not going to get them back.
Yes.
And they're in high demand and speech pathologist as well. So the speech pathologist was cut by 9 days. And I also show them by a pretty big decrease on every single level.
Okay, we have two speech pathologists. I'm not gonna say names or numbers, but let's take a look. So there was a decrease in days. They were 206 days. Now I'm sorry, I'm misspeaking. Yeah, 206 days. That's what they're at. Just want to make sure I'm telling you right.
I show 197 on the speech pathologist.
That's the
Okay.
new,
Yes,
That's the
okay, that's right.
new-
Yes.
new
I'm
days.
sorry, I was looking at a stipend. So
Okay.
197 is the new days. It is 9. So we did do the salary review and there was an increase in the daily rate, but the annual salary did go down a little bit. for less days of work.
So the daily rate, what was it before? I don't know, Katie, we talk about that? I think we can, right?
It's kind of hard because our staff is limited. So that would mean that people could determine that one or the other makes that daily rate.
Right.
Oh.
So their daily rates went up, but their days decreased. So they don't work as many days. So overall, yes, it was a slight decrease in pay for the speech pass.
If we do get to the situation that they feel like they've lost money, will you try to retain them?
So
Like,
I'm,
be offering them, I'm not saying an outrageous amount, I'm just saying to be more competitive, because I don't know the numbers, and I'm just making a suggestion because of knowing speech pathologists, LSSPs, and even the dyslexia person, because they also got cut, is if in fact that they've got a raise or increase or maybe the same, but say they don't understand that and they get offered more somewhere else, would you offer them more? Or will you just, because we're not gonna get them, we won't be able to get them here in Uvalde. So I'm just trying to understand the compensation plan, and if it comes down to it, especially with these credentialed individuals, how do we keep them here? They're in high demand. We need them for special education. We can't go without them. And I think if we go contract, it's going to be outrageous.
so if they work outside their days, so like if they have to work outside their days, they get paid for that. So I would have to look, we'd have to look at how much have we paid extra duty for speech paths? Do we need them? How many days do we need them?
We're also on the timeline, when we're 30 kids, we only have a certain amount of time. So some days they may not have as many, and some weeks they do, it depends on the timeline in which they start the evaluation and the assessment. So that is very, sometimes it's heavier if you get a lot coming in at one time, and sometimes it's lighter when you don't have the evaluation, it's going to be different one isn't set yet. So I mean, it does fluctuate, because sometimes we have to do contracting just because we're at the end of our timeline to be.
Got it.
The speech paths, don't they provide services when the kids are in school?
They do.
They do.
Provide services
And you
in
cut
school.
school from 177 days to 100.
65 days. That's another.
Well, I know that it doesn't matter though, because they still get paid and they're credentialed. There's such high demand. We need them for special education. So unfortunately, they can go to another district and get 80,000, even if they're only working the 197 days, or they'll get 100,000. I get it. The days are cut, but people have the credentials of what they earn money for. And so we just have to be competitive is what I'm saying.
I agree with that. I don't disagree with
So
that.
we just want to make sure that we can keep them. And I don't want to get to the point where if they are fine, if they got a raise or whatever happened to them, awesome. But if for some reason we're at the point where we don't have anybody, and then we get into a bind where we're going to have to contract, we're going to end up losing money. We're going to lose money with a contract worker that's going to charge us, I don't know, $400 an hour or whatever.
Don't we have contract anyways? Aren't we doing that?
We
for
do.
everyone?
And like Ms. Graber said, it really has to do with the testing timeline.
Mhm.
And so it may not have to do necessarily with, because we don't have them or they are out of time. I mean, we would pay them extra duty. If they're able to, we'd pay them extra duty if we needed testing done over the weekend or after school or whatever. They turn in timesheets, don't they?
They do, but we need to add it to the extra duty rates when Dr. G pulled this together. I think we've missed it the last couple of years, so we bring it back as a item to add. And so I went to look at the extra duty rates and it's not on this one, so and if we can add, we've been paying 50 per hour for the assessment staffs. Extra time, so we do need to add that into the compensation plan. So I don't have to bring it back before I can compensate.
Is that just for them or the speech pathologist too? I don't know, for both of
I
them.
think we used it for the assessment staff. I don't know that we've paid speech path any extra duty.
I think it's more of the assessments.
Assessment.
And I don't know what they're doing. I'm just, if we need to add them, that way we make sure that we just compensate them and that they have that extra cushion if they are working those extra hours or whatever. I don't know what they do, okay? I'm not saying I know what they do or what their testing requires, and days and making a report. If it has to be done on the weekend, is that something that happens?
It does happen some on weekends, either it's when the parent's available to bring the child, there's things, reasons why.
So adding a $50 an hour extra duty pay for assessment staff, and really it would be in our, what all group is that?
It's just on the extra duty sheet.
Right, but what group? It would be the,
The LSSPs?
yeah, it would be.
They fall under.
But if we wanted it to be the speech paths as well, we just need to say, because do our speech paths do their own diagnosis? They're just, the diagnosticians do it, okay, so. Yeah. Mm. So $50 per hour extra duty pay for assessment staff is added.
Do they have to get prior approval
Yes,
for the weekend? Okay, thank you.
yes, they do.
So I still want to go back to Peams people. I would really like to recommend that we go to 217 for all of their Peams individuals so that we can have them come in. It's not going to cost us a lot of money. It's really just to have a staff and have them available. They wouldn't actually even come in until next year. I know Laura was asking that question, but it wouldn't even impact them till next registration.
So is it 217 or 202? Because you
202
mentioned
I
202
can
days
see.
for the, what you said before.
But 217 we don't need, like I can promise you. we don't
Okay,
need that.
you're right.
Oh, two.
Yeah.
You said two, yes.
them on the 20th, right?
Yeah, around the 20th. Like this year, it would have been the 21st. And then they
So-
would leave like June 9th.
That's
So
that,
the only Peams clerk that's at 217 is a special education.
correct.
Correct.
Yes, I
Yeah.
didn't realize the difference in that. The other question I have, and this might be for Amy, is, as far as collecting of data for the daycare that we just talked about, do we have somebody doing that? That's in this group here?
Which is-
I guess just making sure we collect the money for ADA, and how does that get collected? I'm sorry, the attendance data that we weren't collecting. And
So Jay, Mr. Trustee Soares can hear. ADA is collected through Skyward, so they would have to
okay.
enter it into Skyward, so we would be on those PEAM submissions on that 20-page document that we shared last time. One of those submissions would be that, and then the other form is with Middle Rio, so that is a partnership that we would have to work with TWC and Middle Rio, and Pam, myself, and Solema, and Dr. Velches is part of that.
okay, I'm trying to make sure that we had somebody covering that, but it seems like it's.
Oh, yeah.
I think with the workforce commission, that's probably about all we're gonna need, right? Because they're gonna be.
Well, that in our
checking,
ADA, right?
Yeah.
And so Miss Loretta and Miss Lorena has been super hyper focused since we missed that ADA last year. And so we want to make sure that it is being collected.
So I guess the big question I have is, just because we did registration this time, did we identify any areas that we might need to increase? Just like I said for Peams, but some other area that we might need to increase instead of paying them extra time, maybe bring people in earlier or something. I don't know. I'm just asking because we did something different. Is there anything that we need to adjust on the days that might bring them back earlier?
We have not had our, we're not even fully registered yet, so we haven't had our debrief yet. I did set a principal PLC after the first of the year, so we can debrief about the beginning of the year, what adjustments we need to make. But I don't have that right now because I feel like we've been working 30 hours a week, 8 days a week. 30 hours a day, 8 days a week. We're already planning for July 34th and July 35th when we have some extra time. So, I don't have that information yet, but we do have a meeting set to collect so we can continue to improve.
So if we do need to bring them in, we can pay them extra duty.
Okay.
So we pay them extra duty to come, and then next year we can note that and adjust it.
Okay.
If we need them.
And for Amy, with all of her collection of data, does she need anything more in this compensation plan to help with the collection of data?
Well, we need a lot of things.
I have gray eyelashes right now, and that's devastating.
The reason I'm asking is because we have talked about it here all year about attendance. And we've even said, we'll sink more money into this to make sure that we get what we need to get. And so if there's something that needs to be filled, that's a hole that we need to address, let's talk about it in this compensation plan. But that's what I know Robert has said it. I've said it is there something that we need to do to help? And because I know it can't be just one person, it's got to be a lot. And
It's a team, and I know Pam, Ms. Vindley, and Ms. Coles has been really gracious. We have some onboarding issues with some late hires, and so we may have to do some extra duty pay on a Saturday where my team comes up on a Saturday to onboard new teachers because there's not enough time. So we are really trying to be creative, but because of the extra duty pay with some flexibility, we're trying to get that done and think of better ways to onboard. How do we hire earlier? I mean, we're just trying to understand what we're doing. And really perfect it because everybody has a different opinion based on their role. And so we're just continuing to take the feedback, make adjustments, and just trying to meet everyone's need at this time.
So here's another thing. We hire for the low season. And then we bring extra duty people in
Right.
to help with the high season. And so we freed up money for the curriculum team to come in on Saturday and onward. So those are the types of things that we're doing. So instead of necessarily hiring someone or we're paying benefits, we're paying all these things, or even doing overtime sometimes, for people. If we're able to then, if we're able to just free up enough money to use for extra duty, then it works during the high season.
My CNI team is not receiving any extra. It's for the new teachers coming in.
Right. The new teachers are. But your secretaries, if they had to do it, they would be doing it. They're subject to, right. Administrators, administrators, I love them. It's other duties as assigned. And I'm sorry. I love your people. I love you people.
And that's my big concern with the cutting of the days. And I understand our calendar changed, but
Administrators are 226.
what? Say that again.
No, our administrators get paid 226.
Yeah. No, but that's
But
this is
admin
what-
gets paid
what I was-
226.
What I
They
was
work
gonna
year round.
say is that you're still expected to do the same work, with the less days. And that's what's hard about it is that, you have to complete the same job in that shorter, even though the kids are only going to be here the 4 days, you still have the same
Right.
level of workload. You still have the same job. And that's my concern with it. And I understand Pam made that comment earlier. If we increase their pay right now and leave it, then it could be a bigger raise for them with the days and whatever
When we
we
go
increased
back.
it. But that's just my concern with our people is that and I understand why we have to decrease. I completely understand the kids aren't here. We can't have buses running when there's no children, right? But at the same time, I just want to make sure that the people that still have to do the same job, like our counselors, I know they got reduced too. The assistant principals got reduced days. The academic deans got reduced days. I mean, all of those individuals got
Yeah.
hit. with days.
Academic things they were going to do.
Right, so the two academic needs we have, they're both new hires, and so there was no adjustment or anything like that. They came in. Counselors are actually really happy about decrease in days.
Right.
Yeah, they're real happy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That's what I think about when I'm saying this. Maybe they don't want to come in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just see it and I think these are key people that it seems like we need when we're dealing with schedules and everything like that. But anyways, as long as we're able to get those I don't know, speech pathologists would apply to it or LSSPs to the extra duty pay to make sure that they're compensated, you know, beyond the days. I think that would be good if we could add those onto there. And that they're still compensated and they feel that if they're doing their extra hours, that they're still going to receive that money for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Moving forward, anybody else? Next. Anybody?
You're ready.
Are we good?
I think so. I think for the most part, we did good for the cafeteria workers and that was good for them. And the
Yeah,
bus.
probably was moved to the freezer cooler or the cooler for UDLA.
Yeah,
We won't.
no, we can't afford it now. So
Sacrifice.
it's, yes,
Because the 275 is gonna be for 1 year.
The 275.
increase.
Last year, the 275 out of the excess fund balance was to be for 1 year. It was approved in the compensation plan. They were all aware of it, but
And this year we needed the money to buy freezers and we can't because we're gonna keep paying them. So, I mean, at some point, we're going to have to replace these freezers.
How much are the freezers?
it
270?
was about 200,000.
So this year we're gonna get attendance up.
Yeah, we are.
You're gonna have a
We're gonna get a
500,000
New roof.
surplus.
That's meals. So yeah, hopefully the kids do come because the fund balance for the funding for child nutrition is separate from the school district. I mean, it's a separate fund. So yeah, we need to serve meals is what gets it up.
Mm.
That's what gets it up.
So with that being said, I will entertain a motion.
Madam President, I make a motion that the board approves the 2025-2026 employee compensation plan that has been amended by the board. And yeah,
It's amended.
As a mentor.
A second.
Motion made by trustee Quinones, second by trustee Suarez. At this time, trustee Riso has the floor.
Thank you. I did want to thank Ms. Bindley and Amy and Yoli, Ms. Colas and everybody that worked and were patient with us and you know, I appreciate it. It, as you can imagine, we get, you know, calls from all over the place, right? And it's coming at us. It's a lot of work, but I do thank you. Kind of goes in line with this morning dignity, the drums, the speeches, the beautiful speeches that were delivered this morning. We're tired. We pulled through them. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
We all do, and
Thank you.
sorry for the headache.
Yeah.
But know that I fully trust you. I fully trust you. And I thank you, all of you, for all that you've done to help us get to this point. With that being said, all in favor? Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
President, I make a motion to adjourn.
second.
Motion made by trustee Flores, second by trustee Quinones. All in favor?
I think
The time now is 8:59. We are adjourned.